Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Night Owl, a show that we do twice a week where we talk about all the latest in pop culture news, TV and movie reviews, gaming news, and just the general conversations of the day. For those who don't know me, I'm Price of Reason, and with me, as always, is my co host, Professor R2, who's feeling better today, thankfully. How's it going, Professor?
Oh, it's doing fine. Yeah, I'd had a cold, for days, and finally, like, it just hit me like a ton of bricks on on Tuesday. I was wiped out. I had like 2 hours of sleep, could barely breathe, just absolutely exhausted. My throat started giving out on me. When I was teaching that, I was just, I wasn't gonna be able to be here to hang out with you on Tuesday, unfortunately. But I'm glad you had Ista here hanging out with you, talking about some stuff. Did pop in for a bit and say hi in the chat that evening. But I'm glad to be back.
Cool.
Glad to be here.
Yeah,
Oh
no,
well,
we're
except for
glad.
talking about Star Trek, but you know, we'll get through that together.
Yeah, no. So yeah, it was great to have you anything that with Star Trek, it's always good to have you here. And thank you for joining. We just did that other one on this very channel. We did the part 1 of the premiere of the
Yeah, the Deep
pilot,
Space
Deep
Deep Space
Space
Nine
9. Yeah, it
pilots,
was good.
Emissary. Yes, yeah, very very good episode.
Let me
Very,
see for a
very, very
second.
good show. Very good pilot. So yeah, it was a lot. It was fun to hang out, get to talk about that. Looking forward. Hoping I'm going to be able to join next week as well.
You know, I was usually we talk about also like conversations of the day of like a little bit of just politics, not like the deepest dives, but just because sometimes things are going on. But I looked today and everything was just kind of annoying. I didn't. Is there some big story that was really worthy of attention? Because I looked today and I didn't really feel it.
Yeah, I mean, there was some stuff with yeah, Trump going to doing some stump speeches in Georgia to help out there with the special election that's going on there. Yeah, I mean, there just wasn't a whole lot of real, just like super interesting, influential stories going on right now. Yeah, it's funny that it's been so noisy and so just consistently loud in Washington D.C. with everything that's been talking about there and all the hatred of Trump and everything. The work that we've got going on, the people that are working on trying to move the Save Act forward, see if we can get a vote on that or potentially even get that passed. All the talk about the filibuster and everything is there. And then like it just kind of, I don't know. President's Day was this week. It's kind of a short week. And we've got the,
Oh
DHS,
yeah, yeah,
little
Prince
shutdown
Andrew.
thing kind of going on. And oh, yeah, we did get the announcement about Prince Andrew being taken into custody. Yeah.
Probably they'll let him go and do nothing. I'm not impressed even with this really, but I guess somebody did something. Maybe his name appears in the Jeffrey files so much that even they said, "Okay, well, we'll arrest him."
Yeah. Well, he's not Prince Andrew anymore, specifically because of all of the things that have happened with him and his connections to the Epstein files of the Epstein associates and stuff. Uh, so yeah, there was a number of people who accused him of being part of a lot of alleged let's say alleged encounters that were either not consensual or with people who were underage. This has been pretty shameful for the royal family. They've been very very upset about all of this, and of course he renounced his title, or was it taken from him? I don't remember.
I think they kind
I,
of took it away. I don't think that he got
yeah,
up in the morning and wanted to give it up. I think it was more like, "Buddy, if you want us to still cut you a few checks, even though you're kind of a shitty guy, you better agree to this."
Well, they certainly, as all of this stuff has been coming out, obviously, what a lot of the Democrats wanted to be able to do was to nail a whole bunch of these accusations to Donald Trump. Unfortunately, that has not worked out very well for them. The only places they say, oh, he's appeared all these times in the files, a whole bunch of those are anonymous things that have come up on the, that were things that came to the tip line. So none of those are credible accusations in any way. They were even investigated, some of them, but none of them were really credible. The only real mentions of Trump in the files have been kind of exonerating for him, showing that yes, in fact, he had an association with Jeffrey Epstein, until he didn't. Until he pretty publicly turned on him, had him thrown out of Mar-a-Lago, and then talked to the chief of police locally there in Florida, saying, you need to get this guy. He's a creep.
I mean,
So
the thing is, I still think that if they really had something to work with, they would have done that in all the years that, they were in power. If they really had something,
obviously,
I assume that they would have used it. I don't know anything, I don't know a lot about anything, and I'm sure that there's a lot of people that are involved that nobody is saying anything. There's a lot of things being swept under a lot of carpets. But I will say that if they had the opportunity, if they had the goods or whatever it is on him, they would have done something much sooner than now. And I assume that they just don't have something strong enough, or else.
no, no, and they never did. You're right. If there were something in there that was particularly damning, it would have been used years ago. It would have been used while Biden was in office. It would have been used before that, if in fact they would have tried, to make sure that either those accusations leaked or they were published in some way. But clearly, there was nothing in here that was really going to be damning for Donald Trump in any of the, Jeffrey Epstein documents, videos, any of the images that have been published. None of that was really damning. So the best they could really hope for was actually, I think, what everyone really wanted out of the Epstein files, which was simply to be able to take various different accusations that were made, no matter how flimsy, no matter how incredible, and then be able to try and twist those so that they could use their appearance, his appearance, or anyone else's appearance, frankly, in those files as a way to try people in the court of public opinion. That was the only thing they ever wanted out of publishing those, was to be able to just twist people's names being mentioned there in some way to try to manipulate or potentially destroy political opponents. And that was on both sides of the aisle.
Yeah, I tend to agree. Well, that was that. I saw that this Eric Dane actor, the guy that was on Grey's Anatomy, it's not really a show that I've watched a lot, but I know that it was a popular show at different points of time. So this Eric Dane guy, known as McSteamy, he passed away at age 53,
Mm-hmm.
which it's kind of young.
Oh yeah, yeah, pretty young. I haven't actually seen anything about that. Did we get a cause of death or anything like that?
I think he had what was it? He had MS or something. ALS. Sorry, I apologize.
Okay, yeah. ALS. That is a terrible, terrible disease. Yeah, I used to know somebody who had that. It's also known more commonly as Lou Gehrig's disease, or at least it used to be. Yeah, that's a terrible, terrible disease. Really, nothing that can be done other than try to treat the symptoms for a while. But no, that's sad to hear. Yeah, 53 years old when he passed. Yeah.
That's
Um,
very young and very the
yeah, it
whole
is
thing is
very young.
tragic.
Yeah,
Uh,
some people with ALS, the progression is very, very slow. Others, it can progress very, very quickly, and so it sounds like this actually
this
did
seems to have gone
progress
very
pretty
quickly.
quickly. Yeah.
I remember, as a kid reading about Lou Gehrig and learning about the whole thing, and it was even as a kid very sad for me just to find out about this disease.
Hmm.
Just, especially in the case of Lou Gehrig, because he was an athlete, and then, the way that it was all described. It sounds I'm sure there's a lot of diseases that sound awful, but for some reason as a kid reading about it, it felt awful for me to learn about it. Kind of stuck with me.
Yeah, yeah, just you kinda slowly lose control of just about every, muscle function in your body. It's really terrible. It's sad to hear of anyone, having contracted it or, in passing from that. I do know that I had seen now that I'm remembering him, yeah, that he was and once he had gotten his diagnosis, he was an advocate for going out and trying to educate people about the disease and advocating for more research money and stuff like that to try and fight this disease. So the what people do with the time they have left is also really important. So, yeah, it's good to know that. Sad to hear he's passed, though. Yeah.
I agree. And I say this as somebody, I know who the characters are on that show, but I'm not going to say that I'm a huge viewer of Grey's Anatomy. It's always been a show that, like, I think it's targeted more for the ladies, and that's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong that the ladies like to watch it. I personally am not a lady, so I don't watch it, but you know what I'm trying to say, Professor.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah, I've never been one to care for medical shows really, in the first place. But Grey's Anatomy was one that never interested me in the slightest. I think I might have seen one episode of this show.
I watched
Well, it was on for like 20 years. I don't know, but I never watched it.
Yeah, out of the 20 years, I maybe seen like 2 episodes to date, you know what I mean? And even that was probably very early on, but I think he was on it when that happened. I remember Patrick Dempsey, I remember him, and all that stuff, but, again, it's not for me, that show, unfortunately, it's not for me. Same way that ER wasn't for me. I usually don't like stuff that has to do with medical. Even if it's a comedy in medical, I usually don't love it. I just even like, yeah, maybe I've watched, like, here and there episodes of Scrubs, like, I it's not my favorite thing because even that,
Yeah.
I don't love the whole hospital thing. Maybe it's a little
Hmm.
more palatable, on Scrubs. I did meet an actress, uh, I did meet an
S-
actress from
S-
that show.
Sarah Chalk.
No, it wasn't her. I can't say
Oh,
more, but it wasn't.
okay.
I can't say much of anything, but I did.
Okay, that's
I
fine.
I I met a very nice actress that has appeared on that show. I will say that she has appeared on that show more than once, but it's not like the first name you think of. Do you get what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like it's not like the main thing or the like star of the thing, but it's somebody that had a recurring role. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah. I actually really enjoyed Scrubs. That was a show that I did like a lot. The medical setting was kind of secondary to
Yes,
the character work there and the comedy, and so I really did enjoy
Which
that.
is
But
why
yeah,
I said it's sort of an exception that, like, here and there, I would maybe watch an episode of that. I would let it slide even though it's a medical situation. Medical dramas for sure are not for me.
yeah,
Scrubs, like, I didn't watch every episode of that show, but I was more forgiving towards it, even though it was a medical one. Even like House, which was kind of quirky and a little more palatable, even that one I only watched like a handful of episodes. Haven't watched like the entire series. I will say that Olivia Wilde initially was on that show, and I at least I've seen her on an episode of that where, back in the day
yeah,
before she kind of looked a little now she kind of looks and acts weird, but at that time, she
yeah,
still was, like, legit.
yeah.
Uh, Let me see for a second. I wanted to make sure I shared things, yeah. What was I gonna say? Oh, I don't know why it's been a long day, Professor. And, there's a lot of people here in the chat, which I'm really happy to see. Okay, so I guess, we gotta pull the Band-Aid off. You've
Oh,
watched
are
Academy
we gonna
episode
go
7.
ahead and jump into Star Trek?
We are. And I wanna tell you
Yes.
something. I wanna tell you something. Every week we say that this show can't get any worse. We say, "Okay, this is it. This is rock bottom. Can't get any worse." And somehow I feel like with this episode, I don't know how to explain it, but I feel like it outdid itself and maybe sunk to a new low.
Yeah, this was pretty rough. Of course, the writer of this episode is the same writer from the Klingon episode a few
Ah,
episodes back. So that writer is known for his work on the CW price. So
that's exactly what this show is. This show
that
is
is
CW Star Trek.
it
Absolutely.
is. It is CW Star Trek. As I was watching it last night, and I texted you, I said it's Dawson's Creek. It's on a very special episode of Dawson's Creek. We
But
get to see these characters this week. That's the kind of episode this is. The kind of interactions, the dialogue, even the music, where we get little guitar noodling in the background during the emotional bits. It's like, oh my
the
god.
music is so awful. The music is so awful. It annoys me every time they play any kind of music. It's so disrespectful. It's like this kind of it's music that doesn't belong on a Star Trek. The fact that they would even put it here just annoys me.
Oh, we got a Rumble rant price from Kivo 1961.
Oh, okay. So hold on one second. Let me find that one. Can I highlight it here? Let's see. Do we see it? Oh, yeah, I can highlight it. So Kivo 1961, $5. On a lighter note, have you guys seen the Babylon B Starfleet Academy preview parody? It's about 2 minutes long and freaking hilarious. I didn't see it, but we can check it out.
Here, just a second. This would appear to be it. Let me switch tabs here. All right, let's see. Yeah, I think this is what we're looking at here. You can go ahead and share my screen, Bryce.
Okay.
Yeah, put it in presentation. There we go.
Explore strange new worlds? Do you want to make a difference in our galaxy? Are you gay, bi, genderqueer, BIPOC, or extremely obese? Join Starfleet. Starfleet Academy is currently looking for candidates who meet our extremely low admission standards. Forget James T. Kirk and Jean-Luc Picard. Those guys are yesterday's news. And they're white. The Starfleet of today is built on the backs of neurodivergent lesbians. Their very large backs. To qualify for Starfleet, you must meet our physical standards by being at least 300 pounds. You must have at
Oh my
least one,
God.
preferably more, handicap or mental illness. Wearing glasses is a plus, even though we eliminated blindness 700 years ago. They just make you look smart, okay? Not too bright? No problem. The Academy is looking for people with an IQ of 70 or less.
I think I swallowed my com badge.
Already.
But most of all, we're looking for people who hate straight white males, because diversity is the future, and the future is Starfleet. Officer commission not guaranteed upon graduation. Financial aid is available unless you are white. Individual experiences may vary. Starfleet is an equal opportunity employer unless you are white. Obese cadets may not be small enough to fit through the holodeck doors. Also, we hate white people.
Ooh, ouch.
Pretty good, I guess. I mean, it's very obvious. It's very obvious
It is.
humor.
It
Like,
is.
I think it's stuff that we say all the time, but fine. I guess it's okay. They did it. I understand. Like, I don't have anything against the Babylon Bee, but I will say that I think that most of the time, the jokes that they have, you know, I think that
Yeah.
we cover a lot of that humor ourselves just naturally. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, sometimes they're it's kind of obvious, like you said. So
It's like the obvious
yeah.
joke. It's not like the additional kind of a little more of nuance, whatever. But it's fine. Somebody's got to do it, and they do it fine. I don't have anything against them.
Yeah.
But
I've seen a few things from them that have been genuinely absolutely hilarious.
over the
But you're
years,
right. A lot of them, a lot of times it's kind of obvious. Yeah.
I say that like, 9 out of 10 times I feel like, okay, well, this kind of, sums up what I kind of was thinking anyways. And once in a while they'll do something, I'll be like, okay, that was kind of funny. So, but I mean, we are very kind of spicy people. So what can I do?
Yeah, yeah.
Anyhow, I guess
Well, we
we'll
can
go
walk through
through.
this. I don't know how long I'm going to be able to go through this, Bryce, or how detailed it's
We're
it's an
gonna do it.
awful,
We're gonna do it. But I
awful
will tell you, I
freaking
just
episode, man.
before we
Uh,
start, I do want to say one
yeah.
thing that I don't know. The guy wrote for the CW. I totally believe it, but I will say this: people that say like, "Oh, 90210" or Dawson's Creek or whatever it is, I want to tell you something. All of those shows, you may like them and you may not like them, and perhaps in many cases the shows that are given are as examples, they're not my cup of tea. But I will say that whoever made those shows had a certain goal in mind, and those shows are written well enough for whatever they're trying to do, uh, as opposed to this show, which somehow the aspect that they're trying to be like these kind of teeny shows is crappy, and in addition to that, the Star Trek thing is crappy to non-existent. They're not even good. I guess what I'm saying, trying to say is the writers of this show are not even competent enough to do like a Beverly Hills 90210. Maybe you say this one came from the CW. I don't know, but I'll say that if I'm looking at the classic 90210, you know what I mean, the one from the
Sure.
90s or whatever it is, that show you can laugh at it all you want, but there were characters that had certain, arcs and certain, like, personalities, and there were certain lessons they learned and things like that, especially in the earlier seasons. I understand that over time it became more and more of a soap opera, but I will still say that even in its soapiest time, the original 90210 still had better writers than this show. This show is just like there is nothing these people know how to do. They couldn't do a teeny drama. They couldn't do anything. They're not capable of doing anything, in my opinion. But let's dig
No,
in
it's
here.
it's pretty pathetic. And here's the thing, Price. Even if this were a good, well written episode of Dawson's Creek or some other CW show, it's not Star Trek. It doesn't have any of the elements that make up Star Trek. It's not exploring new worlds. It's not using science fiction as a way for us to explore philosophy or to look at the human condition. It's not trying to, show us all the challenges that we have in different cultural interchanges and differences that we find. It's none of that stuff. It's just a crappy episode of some teeny bopper, boner comedy. It's terrible. It's absolutely awful. So yeah, as we get started, we're told it is spring semester and it's all worlds break. It's like a mix of like Thanksgiving and spring break, I guess. I don't know. They're supposed
Yes.
to be off for 4 days.
I've never
And we're
heard that
told
term used in Star Trek before, the all worlds.
no,
That sounds like some
no.
nonsense they came up with now.
Absolutely. It is some nonsense they made up here. And the thing is, they already have Star Trek holidays that they could have celebrated. There are holidays that we've been introduced to before, right?
They would have had to have
Including
Googled
like
that. That's too much work for them.
exactly, yeah, including like the date that they celebrate the first contact or the founding of the Federation. Like these are things that
Right.
they've talked about that they celebrate before. It could be first contact day, right? We get a day off, we get to go do something, whatever. But no, they have to make up some new nonsense for what spring break is. We find out that they mentioned the Sato atrium in the mezzanine. So another member, Barry Hoshi Sato from Enterprise. He's writing a letter to his girlie, and apparently 2 months have passed and he has not communicated with her at all. But we are told that she's recovering on Beta Z and that she is out of her coma. But that's all we know. That's all he knows.
Okay, I gotta stop you right there, Professor, because this already 1 minute in to this episode, super annoyed already. I'm already really just annoyed. I mean, I don't know why I'm annoyed. This show is garbage. I shouldn't even be treating it as a show. But the thing is that last episode they pretended that they're doing something more serious, like the stakes are high. The thing ends. She's in a coma. He's holding her hand. Throughout the episode, he already went through a process where, like I said in my review, he thought that he was inside of her, but it turned out that she was inside of him, and that made him uncomfortable. But then throughout the episode, he reconciles with that, and when he sees her on the ship, he said, "I just wasn't used to somebody seeing that side of me, but now, like, I love you. You're the best." And they start, saying how she tells her how great she is. Then she saves him. Then at the end, he holds her hand, making him now not being able to talk to her because she was inside him is basically taking his character back to the problem that he
Exactly.
had early on in the previous episode. Do you get what I
Exactly.
mean?
It is as if these writers aren't talking to each other. They're just writing dumb episodes with a vague idea of what's happened in previous episodes and have no idea what's actually gone on in the previous script. They don't have anyone coordinating this. They're not actually communicating with each other to tell them like what's happened. It's just sort of all happening in a vacuum. So yeah, they happen to know in this that sure he was uncomfortable with him being in her head or her being in his head. But then, yeah, by the end of the episode, he had reconciled with her on that and told her she was amazing and that he was sorry for the way that he acted. And yeah, so but then now, yeah, total regression back to
I guess the thing
previous. Yeah.
that bothers me is it's one thing that they can't even Google what happened in previous shows, let alone watch them. The fact that they can't even look at their own show and figure out what happened in the episode before, this is the part where, like I'm saying, that's why I was telling you, they couldn't write any show. There's no show that these people could write. I wouldn't
No.
trust them to write the dumbest, stupidest show, that like a nonsensical show. I wouldn't even try. I wouldn't trust these people to do anything. The fact that they don't know what's happening in this episode before, and now they like reversed his arc, to pretend that that didn't happen, is just like, it's beyond insulting. And that's why right out the gate, I don't like it. The other thing I don't like, they made it seem like, it's serious now. That guy sacrificed himself. The discount Spock guy, he sacrificed himself. Nobody cares here, and there's no consequences for Holly Hunter, for this academy. Normally, there would be an investigation. How did they send cadets to a place that was dangerous, where one cadet didn't come back? He's dead, and everybody's just like going about their day. They mention him. He's like, man, he was a jolly good fellow. He sure was. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, what? Like, how is there not an investigation right now? Holly Hunter, not only that, well, we'll get to it. Let's go
Yeah.
forward. Sorry.
Well, just a reminder, Kirk is put on trial. There's a court martial that happens in the original series because of the death of one of his crewmates, right? One of the people under his command. And here it's just like the general, yeah. And in the last episode, Admiral Poop Apple is like, or Crap Apple. That's even better. Admiral Crap Apple says, "Oh no, this is all my fault. This is me. I did this." Right? What? Please. Okay. Anyway, yeah. So yeah, he's writing.
I just want to say, people that are watching, if you haven't yet subscribed to this channel, you should do that right now. But go on, Professor.
Yes, this is infinitely better than watching the episode yourself. So, trust
sure.
me. So yes, he's writing his letter to her, telling her about what's been going on. We've got rain happening outside to set the mood here for how everything's terrible. Oh, they've been going about their lives. Tomorrow is All Worlds Day, so they've invented some new holiday they didn't need to invent. And so he's going to write this letter to her and then decides in the last moment he has the computer delete it and he doesn't send it to her. He's thinking about their activities, their horizontal bedroom activities, and then decides, nope, he's going to delete the message. Everyone
I hate that whole thing that he's leaving the message. And like, I'm sorry, like, I think about other Star Trek. We were just watching Deep Space Nine, the pilot. Why does this cadet act like such a... I don't want to use... I want to use my words carefully here. Such a... like, considering the muscles and sort of his supposed presence, he's rather beta-ish. Do you get what I mean? Like,
yes,
there's never a moment that this guy, with all of his muscles, convinces me that he's like a real dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is the most masculine guy out of all of the characters on this stupid show. The only one that's quote unquote like masculine and seemingly straight. And he seems like I don't want to go as far as flamboyant, but he doesn't convince me of his he doesn't have enough bravado and masculinity to really convince me. Do you get what I'm trying to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Well, and clearly they've written him. He's got to be kind of dumb. In the places where they need him to be dumb, right?
He's
Oh, he's amazing in everything, but when it comes to like how he relates to other human beings or how he relates to women, like he's not good at that, right?
he's the greatest hacker of all time. That he still
Ever,
is. But aside from
ever.
that, when he's not hacking, when he's not the best hacker ever, any woman just like fools him in 2 seconds and he's an idiot.
Yes. And we get to see more of him being the greatest hacker of all
Of all
time
time.
in this episode. Yes.
He's the best ever, really.
Yes, we get to see all of or at least a bunch of the different cadets who are leaving. They're transporting off to different places on Earth where they're going to be, many of them going to stay with host families who have invited them to come and stay with them. And so this one is beaming off to Istanbul. There was another one heading off to Duluth. Why? Okay. It's just clearly a joke, but I was like, what? Okay, sure. We get to see these two together. We find out that she's still having glitches, the hologram girl, and she's going to be going off to a holo spa where they're going to work on her code to try and fix the glitches. And so, part of the glitches are apparently that she has this weird hairdo instead of the little pom poms on top of her head.
There's so much to unpack here. That hairdo is so stupid. I was thinking about it, and really, I had time to really reflect, even though we were watching Deep Space Nine and not The Next Generation. The thing with Data, the reason why it worked, even though he was like, an android, a robot, whatever, the reason why that worked is because Brett Spiner, his performance was very much like, I am a robot now. I'm not acting like I'm a human. And then he wants to become a human, but he's like a robot. And that's what made it fascinating and interesting. Having a hologram that just acts like she's some girl you met on the street in 2026, it defeats any kind of purpose. And plus, they don't even define it. 1 second, you can shoot right through her and nothing happens. The other thing is, those guys shot her and now like her whole program is glitched. She's a hologram. None of this makes any sense to me. It's like they don't even understand within their own lore that they invented what they want to do with this hologram. They simply.
Well,
Sorry, go on.
go. Sorry, no,
No,
go
you
ahead.
go on. You go on.
No, I was just gonna say that they don't understand what a hologram is or how a hologram works or anything. We've had this established. We've established this in lore for an extremely long time in Star Trek and expanded and talked more about it in Voyager with the holographic doctor, who's a character in this show. But they can't seem to go back and look and understand, okay, a hologram needs to have an emitter. There has to be some sort of projection device that is sending out the hologram to be able to form the light and the force fields and everything that make it so that he can interact with the world. There has to be a computer core that is actually the brains, the processor behind its, what it does. And they've forgotten all of that. In this, she doesn't have a mobile emitter. She's not, it's not a problem for her to get from one place to another. They beam her around. You see that even in just a moment, even though she's literally just force fields and light. The only thing that we can assume is that she is literally just some sort of sentient ball of light that somehow a phaser can mess with her programming. It makes no sense whatsoever. If she had some sort of emitter, some sort of, portable emitter like we saw the Doctor with, in the later seasons of Voyager, then it would make sense. Oh, maybe the emitter got damaged. That damaged part of her program. But no, she's just a body of light and force fields, and she gets shot. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
They're not smart enough to even play around with an idea like this. I like the comment from Nat Felix when I assume he's talking about Data. The reason it worked is because he was proven competent while at the same time have shortcomings. It's something that's so human that anybody could connect to the character. Yes, there was something about it, but what really was convincing is that the way he gave his performance, Brett Spiner, was that he was very much playing it like he is a robot. And
yes,
I think that's watching his performance and how all of that took place. It worked. and it was done
Yes.
correctly. Having her just act like whatever with no lore and with nothing to really give this any kind of logic, and her just acting like she's from 2026, and it doesn't work for me. Why is she? Why
Yes.
would a hologram look, talk, and act like this? Like,
It's-
forget about all the lore problems. Why would this be happening 1,000 years in the future?
yeah.
It doesn't make any sense. Like, okay, I'll give you another example. For example, okay, uh, Geordie LaForge. Okay, when you see him in the Next Generation, he doesn't walk up to Jean-Luc Picard and say, "Yo, what up, buddy? What up, bruh?" Like, he doesn't do that. He like speaks like the most professional engineering, like, lieutenant or whatever it is. Same with like, Jean-Luc Picard. He doesn't go, what's up, man? Yo, my bro." He doesn't do any of that. He's like, "Oh, Jordy, whatever, Lieutenant LaForge, blah, blah, blah." Whatever. You know what I'm trying to say? Like,
hmm
they don't talk like, sorry, Sean, fucking idiots. And I don't understand this. Like, they can't have it all. They can't make them, not look the part, not act the part, not be of the time that's supposed to be 1,000 years in the future. None of this makes any sense.
Yeah, and the reason that Data worked so well is you kind of said it. He was both more than human, and at the same time, he was not quite human. Right there, he had all of these abilities, could do all these things that were more than what a human could do, but at the same time, he was also lacking in a whole lot of different areas, like his, not having emotions, not understanding all the different interactions that humans take for granted in the way that we, can just see a look on someone's face and perceive, something from that. Right? He was lacking in a lot of that stuff, and so that was what worked. Was because yes, he was more than human, but at the same time, there was a lot that was missing there, and he was not arrogant about it. He wanted to be human. He says that in the first episode. I would trade it all to be human.
I
Right.
love that the way
So
they introduced
yeah,
him in that pilot.
absolutely.
Marokstrom, member for 17 months. Awesome, man. That's
Woo.
great. Thank you. That's awesome to see. Jason Webster with $5. Sadly, there's more crap in recent American television film than you'll find in any sewage treatment plant. Recent British TV has the same problem. I agree with you 100%. And
Mhm.
thank you for the super chat for the $5. I appreciate it.
Yes, wonderful.
Back
Thank
to
you.
the wonderful show that we're watching, Professor.
Yeah.
You can continue.
I don't know. We can keep talking about Data if you want. It's a much more interesting
No,
subject.
we have to get through this. We have to get through it.
Well, as Ron Donofrio says, we'll wrap it up here. He says the Data characters is actually quite a challenge when you think about it. Brent Spiner pulled it off with excellence. He did. He
Such a
really
good
did.
performance. And
An excellent
Whalem03 says
performance.
Data is like AI today. Perfect in a lot of ways, but flawed.
But
I
also
guess.
flawed. Yeah.
Yeah.
So yes, she's we get to see Sam here, who is headed off to she says it's in like some engineering conference, bunch of engineers that are going to help work on her hollow matrix or something. But here she announces that she's going to a hollow tech rehab spa. Ugh. Okay, jeez.
Stupid.
Anyway,
So
and then she
stupid.
transports away. Her holographic body gets transported.
Why would they even need that? Why would they need to Okay, never mind. Let's go on.
You wouldn't. It's a program. You could just send the program from one place to
I
another.
think this
but
is the part
yeah.
that annoys me. If this is the part that I think, is this the part that Holly Hunter comes to speak with her?
So yeah, she's getting ready. She's not going to be jumping on into the transporter and headed somewhere. She's headed to a shuttle waiting to take her in. Waiting for her in Mumbai. It's her dad's shuttle. Because remember, her dad is an admiral. So she says, she's the queen of dad issues or whatever, right? She's going to be headed off. Holly Hunter comes in and tells her that, hey, you know what? You were awesome on, standing around in the bridge.
Cannot stand this. This is the shittiest scene I've ever seen in my life. Some guy died. What are you congratulating about? You stupid bitch. You're not even a captain. You put these cadets at risk. Some kid died. What are you even going and complimenting? And she's like, man, she's literally doing the thing that I laugh at in all my reviews. Like, she's the best. That's what she comes and tells her, that she's the best. And she's like, I'm going to fast track you. You're so great. You're composed. You're amazing. There's nobody better than you. You're the best thing I ever seen. And she's like, oh, the captain track. Oh, I liked it when I said it was the fast track. Blah, blah, blah. It's like, what are you ladies talking about? This is a dumb bitch. You know what? I'm going to tell you something else, Professor. In the first episode, Caleb, he hacks into the computer, and because of him, Paul Giamatti finds them. Okay? Now she sees him doing it. She knows that he's up to no good, and what does she do? Nothing. She doesn't say anything to him, doesn't say anything to anybody, doesn't do anything. So in a way, she is complicit in that guy doing the thing, which led Paul Giamatti to this to focus on this ship to begin with. In a way, Caleb and this girl have some kind of ties to that guy's death, if you think about it. And instead of like telling them, you guys are two pieces of shit, you should be booted out of Starfleet Academy, you guys, maybe you should be even, receive some kind of consequences for what you've done here. She tells her that she's the best and she has to become a captain.
Yeah, and they say, pre-command, something like that, whatever. She says, ooh, captain's track? Oh my God. Price, there is no such thing as a captain's track.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck
could
they're
be
talking about, Professor.
You could be in command school. That would essentially be a track inside of Starfleet Academy or inside of any military academy where you go through different tracks where you specialize. And one of your specializing, you could be specializing in command. You're specializing there. But that doesn't mean that when you graduate from this school, you're going to be captain of a freaking ship. You're going to go out there and you're going to be a science officer, or you're going to be a security officer, or you're going to be, a tactical officer. You're going to do various other things in lower levels of the thing. You're going to start as an ensign. You're going to work your way up through, lieutenant and all that stuff until you get to captain. You are not going to simply start as a captain. It's so stupid. Oh, it's captain's track.
Captain's track. I will say, Daniel TUSA 1095 says, if this was a real military academy, everyone would be washed out of the service. None of these people would be acceptable candidates. But yeah, go on. Sorry. I'm telling you, every scene I got more annoyed than the previous one. And
Yep.
We're just like 2 minutes in and I'm already annoyed.
So your cool head, your strategic thinking, she literally stood on the bridge and looked at sensors to try and find where there wasn't where there wasn't garbage. That's what she did. She looked for the places in the heap of garbage where there wasn't garbage.
And the final thing that I'll say is, you can only be excited if something was a success. The second that cadet died, I don't know what these two bitches are giggling about. Sorry, Sean. You know what I mean? Some guy died because you two are two stupid bitches. And I mean it, because she didn't do anything when the guy did the thing with Paul Giamatti. And Holly Hunter let Paul Giamatti go and didn't catch him when he just like slowly drifted away. These are two of the dumbest. Sorry, Sean. These are two of some of the dumbest bitches that have ever appeared on Star Trek. There is no chance that these ladies get to celebrate and tell each other how great they are when a kid is dead. Okay, but go on.
Yeah, no, it's so irritating. There's another dumb comment about the Talaxian Verfly. They bring it up in every episode. Oh, we get more Klingon in his skirts.
Klingon in a dress.
He's gonna be wearing beachwear.
Forget about the beachwear. He's wearing a skirt again. I've really fucking had it. I understand you want to make him that he likes dudes or whatever it is. Really? Does he have to wear a dress in every episode? Does that make sense that the Klingons, which were once these kind of full of bravado, these warriors, and this idiot walks around with a dress all day? Even if for some reason he liked dudes, does that mean that he walks around with a dress all day? I don't know. Is that a requirement now that if you like dudes, you have to wear a dress?
I suppose. Hey, you know what? We haven't gotten anywhere yet. I mean, you and I have watched this. Not everyone's seen this yet, but boy, that skirt he's wearing here is nothing compared to the
Oh, the fancy dress
designer
at the
outfit
wedding?
he's
The
wearing later with the
he
platform shoes and
uh,
everything.
he is the fancy he has the fanciest dress at that wedding, Professor, but we'll get to that. We'll get to the fancy dress. Now it's still the skirt. You're right. He
Well,
likes to wear skirts, this guy.
his beau, what's his name? Kyle, gay guy from the War College,
In the War
has
College,
invited
yeah.
him to visit. He says Ibiza. It's Ibiza. He's invited to go and with him on this break to go with him somewhere, but he has to put on beachwear, and he wants to go travel with Kyle because he's having a hard time, because he lost. It's so funny, everyone's calling him Bobby. All the other streams is Bobby, but he's so
Discount Spock is what we call him.
yeah, discount Spock. So he's headed off. He's gonna pack up and get ready to go. And we get to see this ridiculously dumb scene where she's trying to pack her bags and they're overstuffed. So he has to help her pack the bags while he's arguing with her about not wanting to go stay with the foster family that's offered to take him in during this break. He wants to just stay in the academy. He's arguing with her about this, and eventually she gives in after he helps her pack her bag, which looks like a typical roller bag that you could buy off Amazon.
However, there's something that bothers me again, and it's like every scene just continues to annoy me. And this is why I said this is maybe the worst episode until now, because and I think I know, and I think I understand why it bothers me, because not only is it like stupid as a Star Trek show, it doesn't even make sense within its own story that it's telling in this stupid season. So again, he's like, "Oh, when you were with Paul Giamatti, why didn't you ask about my mom? Why didn't you promised you'd find my mom?" Dude, you were supposed to go to jail. You're the reason why Paul Giamatti actually came here. You're actually responsible in some odd, like maybe indirectly, for that guy's death. That guy died trying to protect you because you're the one that alerted Giamatti to even come here. If I were this guy, I would be depressed now and think to myself, what can I do to make it, to even try to make it up for the bad things that I've done? Instead, it's just like nothing. He's like, "Yo, what up? What's with my mom, yo?" It's like, dude, you shut the fuck up. Sorry, Sean. Go. Do you agree? Do you understand what I'm trying to
Oh
say?
no,
Like
it's
how
terrible. It's
absurd,
absolutely awful. It's
absurd.
awful. This whole episode is some of the worst dialogue, some of the worst crap that we have seen. Now, is it as annoying? Is it as just offensive as the Sam episode? Not quite, but oh my God, is it bad? And
You know,
it just hurts in a whole different way, I think, Price, is what it is.
it's bad, but it's a different kind of bad. This thing is bad because it's like we're 6 episodes. This is already maybe the 7th episode. We're 7 episodes in, and it's trying to advance its own story. It's already like over 6 episodes try to tell its own story, and they can't even pay attention. Forget about what happened to the franchise lore and all that stuff. They can't even pay attention to what happened in their own story to make anything on screen here even mildly reasonable or logical. Forget about Star Trek. Forget about anything. Just a bunch of characters and how they behave from episode to episode. They can't even keep track of that. But yeah, sorry, go on.
Yeah. No, it's fine. So he does admit to her that she asks about his girl, whose name I can't remember, Tabitha Timbala, what I don't remember.
Whatever, it's a Betazoid
whatever her name
girl,
is. The
yeah.
Betazoid girl asks about her, and he basically admits to her he hasn't talked to her yet, which again, stupid.
Also, another thing, he doesn't even have to talk to her. He can just leave her a message. So he could just like he could have just pressed record and say, "Yo, what up? Yo, what up, girl? I'm here on my planet, yo," and just like sent that, and that
Yeah.
would have been the end of it, which is what he usually does.
Yeah.
Hey, brah, like, you feeling better,
Yeah.
bitch? Like, I don't know what he would say. Send it out in a voicemail, and he's home free. Instead, he's like he records the voicemails and then he stops. I mean, this is so so stupid. He was sitting there in sickbay holding her hand and like weeping over her 5 minutes ago. Now suddenly it's like not good anymore. Never
He,
mind. Just go on.
he can't even just send them, like, hey girl, you up? He can't even like send her that message. Like he's just a
Right.
complete
What you up to? What you up to, girl? Like,
Yeah.
what up, girl? What up, girl? All you need to do, forget about the voicemail. A text message. He just sends her, yo, what up, girl? That's it. That's all he needs to do. Can't even do
Yep.
that. He's too scared and whiny now.
Can't even do that. So he finishes his discussion with her. She's agreed to let him stay. That she's going to have the whole place locked down, and Jet Reno. She's going to be wandering around, making sure that everything is safe and that he's not getting in any trouble. And so she lets him stay. We move on, and we get to see was it Darum? He's getting ready to leave, getting a pack up so he can head out. And he hears some stuff happening in the hallway, and he thinks it's someone messing with him. And he sees this pebble, which apparently is supposed to be easily identifiable as a Kionian pebble, something from his home planet.
I just
And
want to
then
say,
Yeah.
want to say that it's so strange to me that there's a lot of really great actors there that have a lot to offer, yet somehow Tig Notaro seems to appear in every episode of this show. Like, Tig Notaro is the luckiest person on earth. I don't know for what reason we keep seeing her here. There's never anything that Tig Notaro contributes to this show that feels like it doesn't feel like somebody I would keep paying to show up here every 5 minutes,
It feels like anyone could have had those lines, right?
Exactly.
It doesn't need to be
Exactly. I don't
her.
know why it's her, but they seem to bring her back all the time. Yeah, and there's the pebble, and then the second he sees it, he's like, "Oh, it's the pebble they drop when they are going to abduct me or something." This is so
Yeah, I don't.
dumb.
He sort of recognizes that it means something, but we don't actually know necessarily what it means. But yes, these people who we find out are from his planet. Why they don't look like blue fish people, I don't know. But they jump him and try to drag him off.
Why did they need the pebble though? Couldn't they have just shown up and done that like without the pebble? What's the pebble? What's the pebble in this whole situation?
It distracted him. I don't really get the meaning of what the pebble is, but we do get Gaiden here. He comes up and he sees him being abducted. What does he do? Does he press his comm badge and let them know that there's an emergency and to send security immediately? Does he B, rush in to try
Stop
to
them,
save his
yeah.
friend from being abducted? Or C, stand there like a dumbass?
He stands there. Well, he is wearing his favorite skirt, so maybe he didn't want to, he just ironed his favorite skirt and he didn't want that to get ruined, so he let these guys just grab him. But
Yeah.
yeah, I
Of
guess
all the
that's
things
the
he
only
could
explanation I
do,
got.
of all the things he could do upon seeing a fellow cadet clearly being abducted against his will, he chooses to stand there and look around to see if anyone else is watching, but then eventually decides, I guess I should go after him, and then runs after him and goes through this space portal. Let's see if I can get it's going to be hard to get a picture of it here because it's only open there for a moment. I don't think I'm going to get it.
And then he also thinks he's like, oh no, what about my lover, Kyle? The pizza. And then he decides to go in.
Yeah. Okay. So there's a bit of the space portal. Price. This may piss me off more than anything else in this episode. They literally have a technology that makes warp drive pointless. They walk through a portal and travel, I don't know how many hundreds of light years to an entirely other planet. Without warp drive, without any other kind of, what was the dumb thing in the last episode? Singularity drive or whatever they call it. They just walk through a portal and they're hundreds of light years away. This reminds me of one of the things I freaking hated in JJ Star Trek was in the JJ Star Trek films, they introduced this idea of like hyper warp transporting or something, where they jump into a transporter and they just beam all the way to the Klingon homeworld from Earth. And it's complete nonsense. Like, if you could do that, there's no reason to even have a spaceship to get you from one place to another. Uh, if they had this technology, then why didn't they use it during the burn to be able to, maintain commerce and all this stuff
Right,
throughout
this
the
has to be
galaxy?
the biggest invention ever in the galaxy that they can do this, yet
Yeah,
nobody explains it, nobody cares.
just
It's
just little handheld thingy. They just open their little portal here and they physically just travel all the way across the galaxy to some other
and
planet.
the burn is something that Kurtzman and his people invented. So this isn't even something that they would have needed to go and Google or watch any kind of other show. They would only have to watch their own stupid shows, and even that they can't do.
Yeah, this is absolute nonsense. Freaking hate this that they throw this in there, because if you put this in canon, it's like it just destroys so many things. It
It's
makes
like the
no
Holdo
sense
maneuver.
whatsoever.
It's like the Holdo maneuver for Trek in a way.
Yeah, yeah. Well, and the thing is, they have introduced things like this before. There's actually an episode of Voyager where they find out early on there's this society. They have this projector thing, and they're like, they go through this little harmonic projector thing or whatever, and Harry Kim is like, where are we? Like, he thought it was a holodeck, and they're like, oh no, we're on this other planet. And then he finds out it's like 300 light years, 400 light years away, like halfway home for them. And so they're like, what? There's this technology to just transport us from here to there. But then they find out that there's limitations to it, that actually the only reason that it works for them and the ways is because it's of the limited, bandwidth that they have to just send people back and forth. And also the fact that it like works with the crystalline, formation of their planet or whatever, like that amplifies the signal. So at least they make a reason why that technology couldn't be adopted anywhere else, right? But here, it's just, they walk around with a little. Oh, look, I have a little handheld thingy, and I can just make a hole, and I can walk through it, and I can go hundreds of light years. So
Quickly, I
awful.
just want to look at these super chats from Jason Webster. Thank you very much, Jason. Now it's time for Dumb Blondes in Space. That's his one for $2, and then for $2, Spock says, "Captain, Kurtzman Trek is highly illogical." That is an understatement. Then you have for $5, Jason Webster. Spock says, "Captain, Kurtzman is a child. I suggest you treat him as such." I agree with everything you said, Jason Webster. This is all true. I 100% am with you. And then I guess even this stupid opening with these seeds and this plant,
Oh yeah, little
everything in the
growing
music, the music
plant.
sounds
Ugh.
like you know, I'm trying to think. It sounds like a commercial for something shitty. I'm trying to think of what commercial this thing sounds like. Maybe like Bounty, the thing that you clean you know how there's like a spill
Sure.
on the
Yeah.
counter and you have to quickly wipe the counter? That's what this music sounds like to me.
It's terrible. And yeah, the little thing with the seed and the thing growing out of
What
it. Like,
is this shit? What is this
oh, it's a
fucking shit,
metaphor
Professor?
it's a metaphor for the students coming
Dude,
into their own and becoming leaders.
this
Shut up.
this is bullshit. Sorry, Sean, but I'm sorry. I can't not say what I think. This is such an insult. This makes Enterprise's opening song look like Shakespeare compared to this thing. That it's been a long time, whatever it is.
Yeah.
That song is looking real good compared to this. At least I will say this, even though that song of Enterprise was kind of cheesy and weird, at least the visuals seem cool because they're trying to bridge between what we know as Earth and, space exploration to like how they ended up in space. You know what I mean? So at least the images show something cool. I would have preferred like something more of an orchestra and like, some kind of narration of Scott Bakula. But you know what? It's still not an insult like this. This is an insult. But go on. Sorry.
Ron Donofero says, "Hey, I like Enterprise's opening song."
I think that over time, if you like the show, it kind of just grows on you or you just accept it. I will still say that I think that show would have benefited from a more traditional opening. But like
Yes,
I
it would
said,
have.
at least the images that we see there are cool. I think that the visuals are cool. I just don't prefer the song itself, but I'll accept it. This here, it's like the song and the visuals. Like the
I
music
I
sounds stupid and the
yeah,
visuals are annoying.
yeah. I do not hate the song. I hate it as a theme song for Star Trek.
Okay, fair enough. I think
That's
that's
where
fair.
if you were just like that song, okay, yeah, it's whatever it is, right? But it does not work as a theme song for a Star Trek show. The theme should be sort of epic and moving, and it just having that like contemporary, like rock. It's like it just did not work well. I don't think I did not. It was not to the benefit of the show having that there. I understood what they were going for with a different feel for the show, but yeah, it just didn't work. Here we have some big skeletal looking building with a bunch of windows and glass in it that we've never seen before, because I thought that Starfleet Academy was a spaceship and not a big building, but whatever. He's poking around. Are they in the process of building this? What are these shots? I don't know. It's all the opening still. I don't get it. Okay. So we eventually end up on this other planet. We're on this moon. What did it call the moon, Price? Do you remember? Calls it the Sunset Moon in the Kionian realm. This is where we are. This is where the magic teleporting wormhole technology has taken our Klingon in a skirt. Just
It's
looks
just
so
it annoys me
ridiculous.
so much.
It's
This
so
skirt thing is
ridiculous looking.
it looks so awful and it's so disrespectful. Klingons, I'm sorry, I don't think a Klingon would be walking around in a skirt. I don't care what you want to tell me. I don't care what the agenda is. This is just like a middle finger to fans. I'm sorry. Like, in general, and I'll still say this. There are people that are, in the LG group or whatever it is. I don't remember meeting a lot of like, people who are, let's say, gay men that walk around in skirts. I've never really seen that as a thing. Maybe there's some that do that. I don't think that that's like the majority of gay men. I don't think they walk around in skirts.
No.
That's
This
not
is
really a
this
thing. I don't know
awful.
why the Klingon, which will like used to be the symbol, you know what I mean? You're thinking Klingon, you're thinking of this kind of, very machismo kind of warrior type. Why would that they be walking around in this skirt? I don't know why this keeps me up at night, but go on.
We hear there's a tussle going on in this building nearby that Jaden hears, and looks as though someone is drawing a knife to harm somebody. And it turns out, no, they're cutting the top off of a bottle of wine or something with a knife. I don't get it. But this is intruder. We know it's an intruder. There's three of you here. Like, whatever. He stops them and says, "No, he's my cosine." Which he
is like his
explains is
best
like
man.
his best man. All right. So we get to go back and see Caleb in in his underwear, hanging out, getting some sun indoors for some reason. I guess it's
It's
rainy.
funny how there's never a time on this show that you see like women, hot women, like laying around in bikinis or whatever. You don't really see that on this show. The women, generally speaking, are not hot. And if there's even a woman that looks like halfway decent, you're not going to see her like this. For some reason, there's today the men always they have to cast men that look like they went to the gym. They have to provide these type of scenes. Women, you can't do anything. They have to be like body positivity. They can't wear bathing suits or whatever. It's such a weird double standard. uh I don't mind if you want to show men and women that are appealing, even though on Star Trek I don't really need any of this. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
this is weird for me, relatively speaking, on Star Trek to begin with. But never mind. Sorry.
yeah.
Let's
I don't need any cake or TNA in Star Trek. Really, I
really
don't.
not the. It's not really the place. You know what I mean?
No.
This isn't the scene for that. But go on.
Not saying the 709 was not lovely to look at, but I don't think the show was better. because she was in a skin tight cat outfit, the whole time. Like,
But still, even she was more covered. I don't. This is a different vibe. What we got here and last
exactly.
time when
Yeah.
we had the sort of soap opera love scene that lasted for an hour, and like this guy without his shirt. Sure, you can say in Enterprise there were a few scenes that you saw to Paul maybe in that chamber with like Trip, and at least if nothing else, they both didn't have their like clothes on or whatever. But even though you could claim that maybe the producers there were trying to slip in a few more quote unquote sexy scenes, I will say that usually when that happened, it had something to do with the plot. You know what I mean? Like they had to do it because there was some kind of radiation or something. They had to wash their body of some chemical or some shit. Fine, it's a bit flimsy, but even then, I don't think that they did that for 70 hours. You know what I mean? Like this feels very kind of self-gratuitous. I don't really know how to explain it, but
It's ridiculous. It's gratuitous to throw it in
and
there.
by the way, if
Uh,
you're new to this channel, please
yeah.
like and subscribe. But now go on.
Yes, please do. So she's come back. We thought she was gone, but she's reappeared here. He was supposed to be here all alone. He's wondering what she's doing here. So, essentially, after having to look at his nipples for a while, we get to find out that she's broken back in because she says she needs to work on her homework. Of course, he's not buying that. He says, "Oh, I was strolling past the cartography lab earlier and I saw something." He's like, yeah, whatever. She says, she's working on a term paper. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this whole interaction with them is like two idiots. Like this is just two idiots. And she's like, "I hacked into the system. Oh, I hacked into this. Oh, I hacked into that." They just hack every second. Like every second there's a computer. Until this moment, nobody says that she knew how to hack anything. Now she's a hacker too. She can also just go and hack
Oh,
into stuff.
of course. Yeah. Well, she has to be better at everything than every man. Right. So
Yeah.
she says, "Oh yeah, well I'm going to be staying here. I'm not going to be with my dad, whatever. So let's do some stuff." So they're going to go around and make trouble inside of the inside of the academy while everyone else is away. So
And once we get to that scene, then they're in the lab. That is just another level of
so terrible,
stupidity,
so dumb,
stupid, shitty, whatever. But let's focus on this.
So he, now we're back on the CGI fish planet. That's not a fish planet. The sunset moon or whatever sunset moon of Endor. I don't know. Where he's explaining to him what's exactly is going on. This place used to be, covered in giant ocean, but it dried up. Climate change message there. Explains that he was abducted. It's a traditional wedding abduction on his planet.
I don't really understand that. Why is there a traditional abduction of your thing? I don't
It's
even
stupid.
understand.
It's a dumb idea. Yeah. And of course it's the man that gets abducted, right? Because if you go back, if you actually go back and look at history, wives were often abducted. In the older tribal days, wives were often abducted from other tribes, and so it's kind of silly. So
also, there's something weird. They established, I guess, that this guy kind of swings for both teams. So anytime he talks to to this sensitive Klingon guy, they're always kind of sort of a weird tension, but like they're trying to build up like thing between them. But then he has the other guy. So it's like almost like a love triangle with this guy, and that other guy. It's like, dude, we're watching Star Trek. There's a Klingon wearing a dress and he's in a love triangle with two other dudes. This doesn't seem strange to anybody. Doesn't this seem odd to anybody but me? I don't know what to tell you. It's not even, I don't care, I don't care what people do in their private lives, but this is not done tastefully. This is just it's just bullshit, in my opinion.
And I'll tell you, I think Jaden is really looking at these lamps around here and wondering what he could do with those
it's the kind of lamps that could possibly interest him for sure.
Yeah, he might kind of a little excited about those, but they're having their dumb conversation, just saying that yes, he's betrothed to this woman, Kiara. He loves her. She's his best friend. Blah blah blah. Whatever. You find out, oh, she's royalty.
I had a question for
And
you. I had a question for
yes.
you. While I watched this, I DM'd you and you never responded.
Oh, I didn't.
No, I sent you a DM and it was the only one you didn't respond to.
Oh,
This person standing next to her friend, is that a boy or a girl?
I'm pretty sure that's supposed to be a girl, but I think it's one that bats for the other team.
Ah,
Yes.
it just seemed kind of strange.
Yes.
Maybe they wanted to create that since he has his best man that's wearing a skirt and bats for the other team, then it would be only fair that she would have a batting for the other team person.
Yes.
It's like really tough to find one straight person on this show.
The hairdo and her mannerisms make me feel that she is, yes, she prefers the company of the ladies herself. Yeah.
All right. Well,
What
thank
was
you for
that?
clarifying that.
And in fact, maybe prefers the company of this lady right here, and that perhaps they are involved. I mean, come on, that our buddy over here, he swings both ways, right?
True.
He'll put it in whatever, in whatever has a pulse. So maybe she's the same way. She'll get down with whatever, because every character in Star Trek now is just baseline bisexual, right?
I guess so. Yeah.
So they're gonna get married. They had to push up their marriage because, well, her mother had an illness, and now they need to get married sooner. We get back to Starfleet Academy, where they are playing a game of toxic or not toxic, sticking their hands into jars of unknown things to find out if it's going to kill them or not.
This is just so stupid. This science lab roulette. It reminded me of I thought to myself, maybe they're trying to appeal to TikTokers that do these kind of challenges of swallowing weird things and things like that. I'm like, are they trying to appeal to that kind of generation? That's why they're going to the lab and sticking their hands in all this stuff. This was just, I felt insulted by this crap.
Yep.
I don't know
Yep.
why this insulted me so much. It's really you're doing they're like, oh, science lab roulette. What is this shit, Professor?
Yeah. It's just it's dumb as hell. That's what it is. It's so stupid.
And by the way,
we're just gonna stick our hands in, and we're gonna touch something that might kill us instantly.
Right, and she's standing there, and if something bad happens to him, then she injects him with him. By the way, if you haven't yet, you should like the stream and subscribe. But go on.
Yes, please. So he sticks his hand in there and he says, "Oh well, nothing happened." And she just says, "Oh no, just leave your hand in there even longer." What? Okay, so we get to listen to him gooping around, digging his hand in there. I think she's just wondering how deep he's willing to go. I think it's just sort of a curiosity.
Maybe, and the funny thing is,
her.
he's like, I'm better than you. Like every time I stick my hand in something, it's been fine. Like you suck. I'm the best at it. It's like, what? There is no skill to this stupid fucking game. You know what I mean?
It's not skill. It's literally it's a random pick, and then you get a 50-50 chance of guessing is it toxic or not. So they're talking about his
face. I think she's supposed to be. When is she supposed to be? Actually, she doesn't look Bajoran. She doesn't look, Cardassian.
I don't believe they've ever given us her race. She's a new race that we've never seen before. Sexy eyebrows race.
Sexy eyebrow race. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep, go ahead.
Is this the part where she's like, "Hey, did you talk to your girl?" And he's like,
"Yes.
Nah, I talked to her, brah."
Yeah.
And then he's like,
and so he says, "Oh, it's toxic," and because he got bitten by something and it caused his hand to glow, and then I doubt I'll be able to get a shot of it here.
Yeah, his ears grow or something.
Yeah, His ears suddenly get giant. Oh, there we go.
There you go.
There we go. Yeah,
This
his
was
ears
this
get huge.
this stupid Pinocchio shit annoyed me as well. I'm not gonna lie to you, Professor.
So dumb. Yeah. This is what happens when you get bitten by a toxic alien entity, is it makes your ears get bigger. Phew. Okay, so then we find out that these are warp slugs. They are slugs that can travel at warp speed.
I don't even know where the fuck they came. Sorry, I can't. I want to do right by Sean, but I just can't do it. I'm so upset. Where did they come up with this stupid idea with the warp slug? It is so dumb.
It's just dumb as hell. First of all, it's a living being. How can it travel at warp speed, especially being as small as it is? And if it were traveling at warp speed, it would not just splat against the glass when it stopped, right? If it were traveling at that kind of relativistic speeds, it would literally cause an enormous explosion when it impacted with matter.
Right.
Like, this is so, but it just splats on the thing. And then they have to go chasing the warp slugs to get them back into the container. Oh, look, there it goes. Pew, warp slug.
This is so stupid. And then we're back on this stupid planet.
Yep.
And this
talking
is like,
about their feelings and how now we need to get married right away, and I need you to come and be, the leader of our planet with me, and I love you. Blah, 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 blah.
And then he's like looking because he's thinking about his Klingon love interest.
And he's also, he's now, because he's going to be, he's going to rule this planet. He is going to be royalty. Now he can't go back to Starfleet Academy. How many seconds, Price, when you were watching this, did you consider that he wouldn't be back for the next episode?
Nothing. I knew he would. It's just, that's why it wasn't interesting, because obviously he's just going to get out of it. And
Exactly.
it's not like a sci-fi story. This is just some stupid feelings and personal drama shit. And I don't care about this character enough at this point. It's one thing if, let's say, you can say that on a show like The Next Generation or Deep Space Nine, where they had 26 episodes, 25 episodes a season, you're in season 3, they try something different, maybe a more personal story for one of the characters. You say, okay, well, they tried something. Maybe it's good, maybe it's less good. First of all, it would never be stupid like this in 99% of the cases. And in any case, even if it wasn't, let's say, the best episode, they still already built these characters. You know who they are, you know what motivates them. This is like a show that has not taken time to establish who its characters are and what they want. It's just a bunch of little douchey shitheads, and I couldn't care less about any of them. But yeah, so he's on this planet with his wedding.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I lost my tab here. There we go. So they get back to they talk about oh no, don't play. They talk about, they got to move their wedding up. They're going to get married, whatever. Yeah. There was never even a thought in my mind, Price, that he was not going to be somehow breaking it off with her and returning to Starfleet Academy. So there's absolutely no drama there. You're never convinced at all that this character is actually going to change from who they were at the beginning of the episode to the end. He's not going to leave and suddenly go get married and live this different life. He's going to go back to the academy. Oh, we get that more member berries. They pan along and we get to see a bunch of the different Enterprise models here, we're out of Picard's little ships that he has in his offices. We get to see that they're chasing the warp slugs around and they're using some sort of phaser device to freeze them. They're managing to catch some of them, but they get one of them, and after they freeze it, Jet Reno is coming around. Apparently she's done. I could not quite understand what the hell she was talking about, but she broke her toe.
She
shut
broke
her foot in a door or something.
And she had a lover's quarrel with Lieutenant Thought.
Yes.
which I guess they didn't pay her enough to be in the episode. They just paid her to yell at her
for the
on the phone.
voiceover.
Yeah. Probably reduced fee.
Yeah, she's upset with her because she's injured herself and she thinks she's going to die because she's broken a toe or whatever. So they're hiding from her and she's fixing her toe. But while she's working on, like fixing the bone in her toe or whatever, there's a slug up above her and it's like dripping down. And they're afraid that the toxic goo off of the slug is going to get onto her.
They freeze her.
They have to freeze the goo as it's dripping down. And she doesn't hear it. She doesn't react to it. She doesn't see that it's there. Nothing. She gets up and she leaves. And so they avoid getting caught at this time when they're trying to collect all the slugs. Yeah, they see some of the goo dripping right there, and then they freeze it. Yeah, she doesn't hear a thing. Totally silent, apparently. So he compliments her. Oh, I never could have made that shot. You're amazing. Right. So he has to compliment her.
Every second he has to tell her that she's the best. This is the strangest thing that they have to keep telling them how great she is. Every female character on this show, they have to stop and say how great she is every 5 minutes.
Well, our Klingon friend here, Jaden, is upset that he's not going to be coming back to Starfleet Academy. He says, he has got a duty to, represent his people and protect them. Actually, what he says is honestly pretty decent as far as values go in Star Trek. He says, look, that I have a responsibility here. I have to work with and protect my people. So
quickly, I just want to read the super chat from Jason Webster. Thank you, $2. It's a daytime soap masquerading as Star Trek. I would still argue that there are daytime soaps that are better, more well written than this thing.
Yeah.
As somebody that doesn't watch daytime soaps, what I'm saying, at least those shows know what they are, what they're trying to do, who their target audience is, and what their target audience is looking for. Star Trek, in my opinion, does none of these things. And as dumb as those soap opera shows are, they do have these stories that go on and arcs or whatever that make sense within the context of their things. Nothing we see here makes any sense to me. But yeah, you're saying that he actually said something halfway decent here or something?
Well, basically he says, well, you're going to abandon the academy. He says, look, I made a promise. She's my friend. I told, I made a promise to marry her. And also it's my duty to, to my planet to help, to rule this planet in a way that is just. And so he's going to get married. He's going to stay, but he asks him if he will continue to be his best man. We get back to these two poking around, doing stupid stuff in Starfleet, talking about whatever. And she says, oh, you know what I really want. They're talking more about the girlfriend, telling her about how she got in his head and it weirded him out, whatever. We get to see a little bit of the vision again that he had when she touched the teddy bear. That's not a euphemism for anything. I spent my whole life trying to get away from this stuff. No, you didn't. You spent your whole life trying to contact your mother. We've established this. You've been trying to contact your mother at every possible opportunity. You have not been trying to get away from it. You have been trying to find her. Pick a lane.
Yeah, I mean, he walks into Holly Hunter's office every second. He's like, yo, where are my moms, yo? Never mind.
So what do you want to do next? You want to climb the ceiling with mag boots? No. And then she says, hey, let's get on the bridge. Let's go hack our way into the bridge. Says that would be stupid. We'd get into trouble doing that. And she says, well, I've never sat, I'm on the command track and I've only ever sat in my dad's chair, and I'll never know if I'm meant for that chair unless I get to sit in my own chair.
Okay, but the Holly Hunter's chair is not her chair either.
It's not. Exactly.
This is the stupidest thing. And Caleb, who's supposed to be this brilliant hacker, just sits there and lets her tell him this stupid story. And he's like, oh, okay, let's go hack into the bridge now.
Yep. So yeah, she convinces him to help her hack into the bridge so they can get onto the bridge. And he figures, what the hell, right? Oh my God. Yeah, we get back and they have donned their ceremonial vestments for the wedding. And of course, Jaden is fabulous.
He's wearing the fanciest dress at this whole wedding. There's nobody aside from this sensitive Klingon. Nobody is wearing a fancier dress than this guy.
Yeah, look at that. The slender sleeves going all the way down to his wrists, and this tight wrap around his belly with the dress,
What would Gene Roddenberry say if he saw this?
It's absolutely pathetic. I want to know what Ron Moore thinks about what they've done to the Klingons. Ron Moore was one of the writers that sort of established all of the canon around the culture of the Klingons, their culture of honor and everything that was established in the Next Generation. Most of that was Ron Moore's work. I really wonder what he thinks of this absolute trash.
I from what I recall, a lot of stuff that happened like on Next Generation and other shows, like, or at least Next Generation, I think Gene Roddenberry wasn't like a huge fan of. Like, he thought that they were straying from his vision, and those shows were good. This thing, imagine what Gene Roddenberry would say if he saw Starfleet Academy. I think he would be really, really upset. I genuinely think that.
Oh, Adam Gray in the chat, he says, "Excuse me, that is a gown."
Sorry, Adam Gray. I guess gown. I like to say it's a fancy dress, but maybe it's a gown. I don't know.
Ridiculous. Oh, and he's sort of holding him, and they're trying doing like some of the breathing stuff they did before, reminding him, "Oh, I'm gonna support you here." This is so weird
that they're all like over each other. Why are there no two men on this show that just act like two male friends and they're like dudes? This is so weird. Why is one is wearing a dress, then he's like, "Oh, you're chilly. Let me put my jacket on you." And he's wearing like his gown, like as these guys said. This is just awful. No, never mind though. Go on.
Oh no, it's just pathetic. He's saying, he's saying, "Look, I made a promise. I need to go through with this. Yes, I know that I've changed. I've grown while I was at the academy, but this is a promise. This is something I have to do. A promise I have to keep." So he basically says, "Look, if you're going to stay here, if you're not going to be true to who you are, then I'm leaving. I'm going to find my own way back to Earth," and stomps off and says he's not going to be there to make his Cosine speech, his best man speech that he's supposed to make. We go back to Starfleet Academy where they're hacking into the bridge. They get onto the bridge and they begin poking around. For some reason, activating the impulse drive while they're still like on the planet. Seems like that could be a problem. Turning on the warp drive while they're on the planet. I don't get it. Oops. And so it's quite irritating. And he essentially says, "Hey, we're not doing this. This is stupid. We're going to get in trouble." And while she's distracting him by turning on all these systems, she does something there with the control panel on the chair, Holly Hunter's chair, and has this like control key chip thing that pops up out of the programmable matter in the chair, and she swipes it.
It's the photo saying, "Don't forget all the chick makeup the men are wearing."
Oh yeah, absolutely. There's plenty of that. He recognizes that something's going on. He kind of spots her, what she's doing, and what is it that you're doing? Why did you grab that key? She admits it's going to get her into every database on the ship, and she needs to get into those databases because she needs to alter some stuff in the database because of this application to the command track, captain's track, whatever. And she says basically like, she needs to get in and alter these things because she needs to get into command school, but she's afraid of what is going to be in the references that are part of that. And then, of course, Jet Reno finds them there, and they're not supposed to be there. They've broken in. They've been hacking their way in. And so they're in huge trouble. back at the wedding, they're getting married in this ceremony. It's ridiculous because we all know it's not going to last. Something is going to happen. He's going to go back to Starfleet Academy. And he gets up. He's going to give his speech because his cosign's not there to give his speech. But he shows up. This time he's got a lovely bedazzled scarf to go along with his gown.
It's a pashmina, I think, that's going to go along with his dress.
There you go.
You didn't think I would pull out the old pashmina, did you?
So he gives his little speech talking about how amazing his friend from Starfleet Academy is, that they're classmates, and he's so brave and confident and does all these things. He, is an amazing, amazing fighter, and he's one of the best people in their Calica team, and he's going to do all of these things, and he's amazing.
He's like, and he's so cocky. And I'm thinking, that's an interesting. You certainly love cocky people.
Yes, he seems like he is a capable.
He's cocky.
Something. So he gives this lovely speech about what an amazing dude he is. And then she hears what he's talking about. And you can see in her eyes she's thinking something because of what he said. Holly Hunter, she comes back. They're in trouble because of breaking into the bridge.
Now, I just want to tell you, we only have a few minutes left of this show, but there's about to be a number of things that are pissing me off so much. This part right here, normally you could say, well, you got in trouble. There's a few things. It's just like it's like a 1-2-1-2 punch. First of all, nobody ever gets punished here. You know what I mean? Nobody really gets punished. Holly Hunter basically gives in this scene community service hours to both Caleb and her. And the funny thing is, a few episodes ago, she gave Caleb 200 hours community service. Now he gave him another 200 hours. That's 400 hours. 400 hours community service. That's a lot of hours. When does he have time to do all this community service? I've never even seen him do 1 minute of community service.
Yeah.
Right? Do you get what I'm saying?
Wondering, yes, I know exactly what you're talking about. I keep wondering when she's going to assign them like hard labor, like breaking rocks in Siberia or something instead, because it keeps getting ridiculous. Oh, you're going to do all this extra time going out there and, cleaning graffiti off of whatever, even though it's, the thing is, like, what community service would there be to do? Price.
No, and then obviously that's one thing. And then the other thing is, and this is the part that really, like, that's it. I was so angry when I saw this, is that the reason why she needed to break into the bridge is so she could break into a record. Now, it turns out that the references that she gave Starfleet Academy were fudged. Now, you'd think that they'd say that she's awful, but then Holly Hunter's like, I don't understand. We know that you're the best. We know that you're the best thing that ever happened. What could possibly appear in those recommendations that you fudged? And it turns out that the recommendations didn't say she was bad. They said that she was so good that she didn't understand how good she was.
Well, they say, or she says that these recommendations. By the way, when you request a recommendation letter, like today, you don't get to see that letter most of the time. That letter goes directly to whoever it is that you're sending the recommendation to. I've filled out and sent recommendation letters to people. You don't give it to the student and let them deliver it so that they get to see what you said in it, right?
True.
You send it to whoever is applying for the job.
Absolutely.
Or applying to get into grad school or whatever. You send it to them. They don't come and get it. I've asked for recommendation letters. Here's the other thing. You don't ask for a recommendation letter from somebody unless you know exactly what it's going to say. If you're
Right.
asking for recommendation letters for someone where you don't know what they're going to say, you don't know that they're going to say what you want them to say, then you don't ask for a recommendation letter from that person, right? So anyway, it's this recommendation list. Apparently, they're glowing recommendations price, but she says 201. They all say that I'm motivated by fear. Again, I have both requested and read recommendation letters for, as part of a hiring process. I've filled out recommendation letters myself. You don't psychoanalyze the person who you're making the recommendation for. That's
Right.
not part of what a recommendation letter has in it. It's going to say
Complete bullshit.
they
Complete bullshit.
have accomplished this. They've shown how competent they are at that. My experiences tell me this, and I would recommend them. I think they're going to be great for whatever. Or sometimes you send the recommendation letters and you say, I think they're capable here. I think they're, that these are things they need to work on or whatever. Like sometimes you include those types of things. You don't send a psychoanalysis with it. You know what? I think she's really capable, but she's always been motivated by fear. That's not.
Motivated by fear.
It's
Like she
completely
feels
nonsense.
she doesn't belong where she's supposed to belong or something like that. It's like that's your flaw, that you don't know that you're the best, that everybody thinks
Yeah.
you're the best, but you're not sure. That's your flaw. It just annoys me. This is so. Why can't they give her a real flaw? Why is her flaw that she doesn't know that she's the best? That's the dumbest flaw I've ever heard.
Yeah, she's so good, but she's just doesn't have the right
No,
motivations.
and not only that,
Doesn't know where she belongs.
not only that, there were enough moments that she acted all girl bossy throughout this season, and it's like, if you're gonna walk around like you're all girl bossy, it looks like you do think you're the best. It's like, how do you reconcile the fact that she wants to walk around and do the girl bossy grin and smirk all the time, and then it's like, "Nope, she just doesn't realize how great she is." This is so stupid. This Everybody on this show, everybody involved in this show should be fired immediately. And not just fired, fired in a way that you do an announcement. Like the head of Paramount needs to come out with a list of people, explain every single person that was involved, what they've done wrong, apologize. And I don't know. I mean, I don't want to. Maybe there's shows that these writers can work on. They should not go anywhere near Star Trek. Should not have anything to do with this franchise.
Yeah. So she was willing to risk her career, risk being expelled, risk everything, risk the command track and all that stuff to change the recommendation letters. Obviously, she would have already seen them. Price. Changing the recommendation letters.
Istophobos is asking, I don't know anyone who isn't, in part, at least motivated by fear, but how would her teachers know this?
Yeah. Or how would her references know this? Other commanders that have worked under her dad or whatever, how would they know this? None of them would know this. Some of them might mention something like that. They might know, maybe have noticed that she tends to be motivated by a fear of failure or something of that nature, but you're not going to put that in a recommendation letter. You're not going to write that. You're going to psychoanalyze someone in a recommendation letter, especially if it's just a recommendation letter to a school, right? And again, Holly Hunter as the chancellor. She would already have seen these. She would already have seen the recommendation letters. She already knows.
Well, apparently, I guess it's suggested that the reason why she didn't see them is because she fudged them. Meaning, initially they had the additional comment that she's afraid of how great she is, and then she deleted that comment. So she's worried that Holly Hunter is going to take the references, give it to the captain's committee or whatever it is, and then they'll try to call the references, and the references will say, well, there's a discrepancy. We did say that we think she's the best, but we also said that she's afraid of being the best.
Yeah.
I think that was the logic here. I know this is very dumb logic. I think that's what they were going for. But
It's
sorry.
nonsense. It's utter nonsense. So anyway, yeah, they're like, hey, you know what? You got all sorts of community service you got to do. Not sure how you're going to do all that with the time you have available, but we get back to the wedding where royalty here, whatever the hell her name is, has said, you know what? you have to give up the throne. You have to abdicate the throne because I want a divorce. I'm gonna break off the marriage. I'm gonna have it annulled, but you have to willingly abdicate the throne first. You don't belong here. I actually want to go get that nice piece that was my best man, best woman, whatever she was. She doesn't say that, but I think it's
That's probably what
implied
she was thinking.
that she's like, I got this side piece over here. I'd rather have that, and I want you to go back to Starfleet Academy so that I can rule this planet by myself.
Yes. This is the part that like I'm already annoyed until now, and every scene is annoying me more than the other. This was already like another low point within this episode, which itself is like a franchise low point. The thing is that it could have been a scene, and it almost starts that way. She's like, "Listen, I understand that what your path is. I don't want you to sacrifice your career for this, for me calling you to be here. I think you should go back to Starfleet Academy." So it shows that she's kind of selfless, and she's also really caring about him and thinking about his career. And you could see this as a nice act. And if the scene would have ended there, I would have said, you know what, this is a stupid story, but at least there was like a nice positive moment that she actually cared about him and understood why his career is important to him. So like I would have thought that was interesting, but the writers couldn't leave that at that. It has to come out that she's the best and he's some idiot. And then she's like, well, you can go back to the academy. I'm going to be fine. Do you know that there was never a situation before now that a woman controlled this planet on her own? And it's like, and she's all like doing almost like the smirky smirk. It's like, you stupid bitch, shut up. I was like yelling at the screen. I got so annoyed. This annoyed me so much that like they had to shove it in there. They're like, yeah, I'm gonna rule without you.
Yep. She basically says like, "Oh, I can't have someone who's with me because of a sense of duty. I can't have someone who is here." Basically, she also tells him that he's not the same Darren that she used to know. The Darren she used to know was basically a pussy.
Right.
He was quiet and he didn't, wasn't brash and all this stuff. So basically, like, she only wanted him before because she knew she could dominate over him.
Right.
And now he has a stronger personality. Cocky. He's more self-assured. He's cocky. And so now she's like, no, I don't want I don't want that.
Know you were cocky. It's like, man, that is so annoying. And then there's another thing. Like initially, it could have been nice. Like, I really care about you and your career. That you've always wanted this. I feel bad that I called you here. You should go on your own path. We'll find a way to make it work. You should go. That would have been fine. But then what's the next sentence? She's like, because of you, our whole relationship was based on the foundation of a lie.
Yep.
She says something like that to him. I'm like,
and then she says, I deserve more than that. I deserve more than you to be here and love me when
I'm gonna rule
this isn't where you
planet.
really want to be.
It's time that a woman ruled this planet on her own, yo. Man, this scene, the Holly Hunter scene already like got me really fired up. But once this lady started telling him this shit, it's like I can't explain to you how much this annoys me. It genuinely annoys me. This is just, it's like they've gone above and beyond spitting at the face of Star Trek fans. This is just like, it's like the ongoing. They just enjoy standing there and spitting in your face over and over again.
So she looks real excited. She's thrilled at this idea because they're going to get back to scissoring very soon. And then, of course, our Jaden here is also very excited that now he's going to get to go back to Starfleet with him because, he wouldn't want to lose, one possible gay lover out of all of the other possible gay lovers, right? So they find their way back. Somehow they beam back. I guess they took the magic, teleporter hole. I don't know. May have gone in and out of that hole a few times. I don't know. But they made their way back to Earth, where he says, "Oh, I'm glad you were there with me." And then they see Kyle, who he ditched, and now they're making up, and he's got Kyle's got a sunburn, so he's making fun of him for being stupid enough to get a sunburn. We do get well, I'm not gonna be able to get it on here. We get a gay kiss between Kyle and our Klingon buddy here.
And again, the love triangle, there's a lot of tension here because random douche is also has his sights on the Klingon in the dress, and this other guy, he's kind of into the Klingon in the dress too. So that's it. Star Trek has become a love triangle of dudes wearing dresses.
Mm-hmm. So here they are doing their community service, apparently mopping a floor, which would be something that robots would do.
Even today, you have like the whatever it's called, the robo
Yeah, no Roombas and whatnot.
Roombas,
Yeah,
whatever it is. You have a
Scuba. I think
Roomba today.
yeah.
I feel like that there should be a machine that does that 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah, but they're mopping the floors, and she's saying, "Oh, well, you really should, email, what's her name, Tarima, whatever, soft serve lady, whatever, I don't know." And so she convinces him to finally record a message and send it. And there is the most annoying, like I said, Dawson's Creek guitar noodling, emotional BS going on, playing behind us. I'm like, oh my God, stop it.
And
Stop it now.
I agree with you 100%. It's super annoying. And his message is kind of like a pussy message, too. He's like, "You're probably mad at me. Well, you should be. I didn't know you were inside me, and I wasn't used to sharing." You already said that last episode,
Yeah.
you dumb fuck. You said that last time. Sorry, Sean. Why are you now going back to telling us the same stupid thing that you told us last time? And it's like the worst message ever. And then he sends it. Why can't he just call her 1,000 years from now? Can you just not call the person and say, "Hey, what up?" You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
send her a DM or whatever. I don't understand this whole saga with this stupid message. Or who even gives a shit? He could have just sent her a message with a few sentences and done nothing. If he just wants to send her like a voicemail anyways, then it's not the same responsibility as like, really opening up.
Say, hey, sorry it's taken so long for me to message you. I just wasn't really sure what to say. We've gone through a lot. I do care about you, and I hope that you're doing well. Like it's not complicated. It doesn't need to be like this ridiculous thing. But again, he goes through, like you said, the whole thing again. Like, oh, I was so freaked out about what happened with us. Like, you already explained this to her.
You
You told this to her
explained it.
before she ever went into a coma.
Right,
You
she
worked
already
this
knew this.
out.
We've already suffered through this stupid storyline. We already know it. Why are they going back to something that he was at the beginning of last episode? And yeah, all he needs to do is leave a message like, "Yo, what up? Yo, what up, girl? You my peeps, fam." And that's it. That's all he needs to do. It works with the way he talks, and it'll be fine.
Yep.
Get
And
well
then
soon, brah.
we end with what we are told is a galactic meteor shower. I'm not sure what makes it galactic. It's not a terminology that exists, but it's a galactic meteor shower, and everyone stands around and looks at the amazing, whatever it is. Oh, well, there's the amazing right there, right? We all got to look at her because she's so amazing. He sends his message off to her finally, and they all stand around and marvel at what looks like are some pretty big meteors that are probably going to impact the planet and cause some very real damage, because that's awfully low to the ground without those having been completely burnt up yet. If you've ever seen a meteor shower, you know that they happen way up in the atmosphere. That looks a little too low for comfort, if you ask me. It looks like there's going to be some multiple impacts here that might be causing some very serious problems very soon.
Yeah, they just probably thought it looks cool. Nobody gave it a second thought here for whoever makes this show.
Yep. Absolutely terrible. Oh, we get her
Ugh,
back. She's still got the messed up hair. And yeah, there we go. Oh,
that was
no, I
awful,
do
Professor. It
not
was
want to
simply
watch
awful.
this awful show.
It has to be like, I know that the other episodes were bad, but this one felt very bad too.
It was miserable. It's not Star Trek. It's not Star Trek. I was actually thinking about this earlier today, and I was having a small chat with somebody talking about how like there's so many people trying to rush to defend this show. Not just some of the actors, but also fans at some of these different websites or people on the Star Trek Reddits and all this stuff. They're out there like you can't criticize this show. If you criticize this show, you're not really a fan. If you if you do this, that, whatever, you're not a fan. You don't know what Star Trek was. Star Trek has always been this way. Is it? And it's this fascinating concept that somehow, just because it has the name Star Trek attached to it, it must absolutely be Star Trek. When if you go back to the TOS, you go back to TNG, you go back to DS9, you go back to all of these series that we had before when it was originally on the air in the 60s, and when it later moved into the 80s and the 90s and the early 2000s with those various different shows. Star Trek was more than just a name. We didn't just put Star Trek on anything. There was a central idea, certain concepts that made up Star Trek, right? There were these ideas that it was uh, it was built on episodic storytelling. It was built on the exploration of space and making diplomatic contact with new races. It was built on a variety of things, like having an ensemble cast, having the story structure and the themes that they worked with regularly, looking at the different self-contained problems in an episodic episode each week, and then having a fundamentally optimistic idea of the future, looking at human progress and what we could do, how we could move through through our lives in this new era. They had themes of technology and how we would interact with that technology in the future. So there were all of these sort of ideas that were what Star Trek was built on. And when you take all of those ideas together and you move on to something else and you say, well, this is Star Trek. Well, it's like what I was thinking of is it's like a ship of Theseus, right? If
Yep.
I take that ship and I move it over here and I I change a few planks, right? Let's TNG. I change a few planks. It's got a different crew. It's on a different ship. We've got a different captain with a different command, and we've got a different makeup for this ensemble cast of this crew. You still have the heart of what makes up Star Trek there. It's a little bit different. There's a change here. We've moved a few planks, changed a few planks out, but the ship is still Star Trek, right? When you
Yep.
move over to DS9, it's the same thing. There are some of those central things that were part of Star Trek that are still there. And there's some other things that they take out, they swap out, they move things here. But the heart of it is still Star Trek. We still have, for the most part, an optimistic future, although DS9 got a little bit darker, right? Because it was looking at, this other, this other planet and their politics and their religion and stuff like that got a little bit darker. But we still had the ensemble cast. We still had, at least for the first couple of seasons, episodic storytelling, and then we moved into more serial storytelling. So again, changed out some planks there, but it's still Star Trek. You move through all of these different series and there's an evolution. We change out a few planks here, we change out a few planks there. Some of these things are more similar to earlier Star Trek than other ones. You get Voyager, where it goes back to being much more episodic than DS9, where DS9 became very serialized later on. But when you get to these new shows, to this new crap, they have thrown out so much of what made Star Trek that I don't understand why anybody can still consider it Star Trek. We don't have an optimistic future. With stuff like Discovery, we don't have an ensemble cast. It's all focused pretty much around one character who's the bestest ever, right? We get rid of a lot of the science fiction storytelling, and now it's all just character things every week. We got rid of all of the other things that made it really Star Trek, and now it just has the name Star Trek on it. But we're supposed to say, oh, well, it's Star Trek. Let's cheer it on. It's the best thing ever because it's Star Trek. This is not Star Trek. I don't care who owns the name, who owns the IP, or what you want to plaster it on. This is not Star Trek.
It's garbage, man. It's awful. There's nothing redeeming about this show. There's nothing. There's not one thing I can say, well, at least they got that right. There's not one redeeming quality about this show.
Nothing. I mean, all of the stuff that I consider to be really the heart of Star Trek, having that optimistic future. Oh, excuse me. Optimistic future, exploring, new worlds, meeting new cultures, the ensemble cast, the different allegorical episodes where we get to, think about, we get to approach subjects in human nature and in life and even politics and stuff, but we get to look at those in an allegorical way. We get to look at those in the context of a different culture so that we can explore those ideas. And we don't tell you what to think about those ideas. We just give you the opportunity to look at them and think about them. I think of that episode in TNG where we have the lady, or not the lady, the guy that Loaxana Troy falls in love with, who's a scientist, and you find out that he has to go back to his planet because he has to be euthanized. His culture, you reach a certain age, and then you go in and you give up your life because you don't want to be a burden to your family. It's part of their culture. And they spend all this time talking about how this is wrong. There's nothing wrong with you. You're perfectly healthy. You shouldn't be going back and just letting yourself be put to death. But then there's another examination of it. We get to see the other side of it, the trauma that it's giving to her to his family, and the sort of noble thing that he says he's doing. Look, I don't want to be a burden to my family. I want to make sure that I go out on a high note and do what I need to do. So you get to explore this idea, which is frankly pretty uncomfortable, right? And they don't tell you that one way or another is right. They just let you look at this philosophical idea. They let you explore this, and then you get to think about it for yourself. This is what made up Star Trek.
Sorry,
We're
Caleb
stories
Levine. You
stories
said
like
an
that.
hour ago, and you're still talking. We're almost wrapped up.
We're pretty much done. We're
We're
not talking about the garbage anymore. We're talking about what good Star Trek is versus what we're getting now. But
I did want to say one thing. Right before this stream, we did a stream where we watched the first basically episode of Deep Space Nine, and man, watching an episode like that and how serious they were about making Star Trek, and then having to watch this stupid Starfleet Academy, it's like it's worlds apart. And just the level of writing and acting and the vision behind Deep Space Nine and what we're seeing here, it's just embarrassing. This is embarrassing, this show.
It's awful. Yeah. What we had with Star Trek, with all of these different cultures and how we had cultural misunderstandings, cultural clashes, because different cultures had different ideas about duty and honor and whether it was okay to lie to people, to cheat people, whatever, with the Ferengi, right? We got things like that. We get none of that in these new shows from Trek. Every single character is just some sort of broken, flawed hybrid human now. Everyone's of the same culture. Everyone has the same ideas, and it all just focuses around everyone is the best, and everyone should just be allowed to identify as whatever they want, right? And that's just like the final message here. It's so bad, Bryce. It's so bad. I don't
So
even
bad.
know what the hell they're going to do for the next 3 episodes, but oh god, having been so terrible, and it seems like each episode finds a new way to be awful. Maybe not worse than the previous episode, but just awful in a whole new way. I can't even imagine where we're going with the next few episodes. It's scary.
It's like now it's the 3 big ones. This is like usually what they want to end like the series, like the season on a high note. Probably have a stupid cliffhanger. We're definitely getting Paul Giamatti for episode 10 at
Oh yeah,
minimum.
Paul Giamatti's going to come back, and
Caleb's mother, She-Hulk, is going to come back.
She's going to come back in the penultimate episode, I believe. And I think we're going to get Caleb is going to ditch Starfleet, and he's going to run off with to be a turncoat to run off with Paul Giamatti. And then, of course, we'll find out at the start of the next season that it was all a plan. He was going to find some way to get in good with him and then betray him so that they could to get him back. It'd be some master plan that they worked out or whatever. This is such predictable trash. It's so dumb. So dumb.
For sure.
God, do we have something else to talk about, Bryce?
Yes, I think we do. Let's see.
Anything else?
Let's
Save
see
us.
what we got. No, there were other things that we wanted to talk about. Somehow, let's see. There was a Toy Story 5 trailer.
Oh, somehow Toy Story returned.
Yeah, I'm kind of over Toy Story, but let's look at the trailer if you have it anywhere.
Oh, I don't. Actually, I haven't even seen it yet. I heard someone mentioning it earlier this evening, but I have
I'm
not.
going to tell you the truth. I haven't seen it either. I just saw that I thought you watched it, so
have not seen it. We can pull it up here. Let me find the real one, because there's 1,000 ones that are fake. That one's 3 months ago. Wait, this one says it's from Pixar. Is this it?
Today you can do AI.
Yeah, there's a ton of them that are all okay. This one says published
found one if you need.
by Pixar 13 hours ago.
Okay, so
here we go.
One, yeah.
That would be the new one. Okay, let me share it. All right. Well, let's see. I'll be quite honest with you, Price. I couldn't be less excited for this. This series of films should have ended with the third movie. The third movie was the perfect ending for this series of films.
I'm going to be honest with you. I don't even know if I watched the fourth one. Maybe I watched part of it. Maybe it was on TV or something. I don't know. I feel like I watched part of it. There was like a fork or something that talked, but
this guy right here. Yeah.
Oh, he's back.
Sporky, whatever. Yeah.
Yeah,
they I don't even want to get into it. It's not a good movie. The fourth one is not good. And this one looks like it's probably going to be more of the same. I'm not interested at all. The third movie, probably my favorite of all three of those original 3 films. My favorite of the Toy Story films. The message, the story of that is incredibly great. And you get the moments at the end where you get all of those characters that realize how much they mean to each other, and that they're willing to sacrifice themselves for everyone else that's part of that group. It's incredibly touching. Honestly, brought a tear to my eye first time I saw it. That was such an incredibly moving, place to take that story, and I loved it. It was so good. And that should have been the end of the Toy Story films. To keep going with it is just frankly disrespectful.
Soulless cash grab, yeah.
Exactly. It's just a cash grab. But let's see what we get for the trailer here for the film.
Do you, Forky, to Karen Beverly, to be your beloved bride?
Yeehaw! I now pronounce you husband and knife. Who poisoned the maid of honor?
Bonnie, there's a package for you.
Oh, thank you.
Hi there, I'm Lily Pad. Let's play.
Extinction, not again.
Bonnie, screen time's over now.
Okay.
I want to talk to you, device.
Please. Call me Lily.
Me and the toys have been working all summer to try and get Bonnie to make friends.
Yeah.
But then you had to ruin
Got
it.
it.
You're not even listening to me.
I'm always listening. See?
Now look here. Me and the toys have been working all summer
Now in Spanish.
con los gemelos Hologram. Al otro lado del
What?
Yeah, I got dibs on behind the dresser.
Woody,
Jesse, hello.
is it as bad out there for toys as they say it is?
We're finding more abandoned toys each day.
We're down! Tex invaded our house, too.
I don't know, Jesse. Toys are for play, but tech is for everything.
I'm losing Bonnie to this device.
You got a friend in me.
Woody!
Came here as fast as I could.
Why are you wearing a dress, Woody?
It's called a poncho, Forky.
Someone needs a brown marker.
Halt! Who goes there? Whoa, whoa, whoa! I come in peace.
It's been too long, cowboy.
What are you, some sort of old man toy?
What?
She thinks you're old because you're bald, Woody.
Bonnie needs help from someone at least from the same century. So long, toys.
We're gonna need backup. No way. She's getting away, boss! Our mission on this planet is to make a child happy.
Bonnie still needs us. Come on, Bullseye!
But you stay here. I'm going with them. You don't think I can do it? No! Nice poncho.
It's good to see them fighting again.
It sure is.
Okay. Well, not all bad. I'll be honest. Not gonna be an asshole. Not all bad there, Price. I like that they brought Woody back. The joke about his head getting rubbed clean so that it looks like he has a bald spot, that cracks me up. I think that's kind of funny. But yeah, the overall story, Tech is going to be the villain in the story. I just don't know. I'm not sure how they're going to play that, man. I really don't.
I could barely make it through the trailer, to be honest with you. It just doesn't speak to me, this thing, to me personally. It's an unnecessary movie. They don't need it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest. This is straight to streaming for me. If I'm going to watch this, I ain't paying to see it in a theater.
Fair enough, man.
Right? Istafova said they're 10 years too late for this plot. Yeah. Yeah, pretty close to it. Yeah. The kids that have all gotten just completely and utterly addicted to devices. I'm guessing that at some point she's going to join social media, right? And she's going to be addicted to watching TikTok videos or something. That's
probably, yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah. Again, I'll say I don't think that was all bad. I think there's some stuff in there that could work. I do appreciate that they brought back the characters. It seems like it is going to be led by the two main characters once again. It's not going to be the all Jesse all the time show. It is going to be led by Buzz and Woody, which is nice. It's not going to be quite the same, as the last movie. We got Bo Peep and stuff like almost the entire time being a girl boss. So I don't know. Again, it's not blowing my skirt up. I'm not ready to race out and get tickets to see that in the theater. I think waiting for streaming is where that would be if I'm going to watch it at all. But yeah.
All right.
It is what it
there
is,
was also
man.
this whole situation with Paramount and Netflix and Warner Brothers. They're continuing to duke it out, but now Netflix are like, oh, well, we'll give them a week where we have a waiver and they can talk to Paramount. What do you make of all of that?
It's I don't know, man. Honestly, it's getting kind of confusing. I'm not sure what is going to be happening there because, yeah, initially they were saying, nope, we're not even interested in talking to them about their offer. And then they made this change in their offer last week. We discussed it here a bit, right? They're adding in saying we'll pay your breakup fee with Netflix. We will set up, payments. We're going to pay you more. We're going to buy the whole company. We're not only interested in buying these pieces or that pieces. We'll buy everything. And we're going to pay a little bit more per share than we said we were going to pay before. Plus, we're going to add a ticking fee, which is where they pay extra if regulatory clearance of the merger and everything takes too long. They kick up and they pay more to shareholders if that drags out for too long. So I kind of thought, man, that's really, honestly, it's a hell of an offer. I'm not all that surprised that it changed some people's minds at Paramount, or not at Warner Brothers, that they might be interested in exploring this other possibility more so than they were before. But I don't know where it's going, Price. I don't know what to think. It sounded for a long time like they were ready. They were going to go with Netflix. That was it. They weren't entertaining other offers, but it seems like this latest offer has turned some heads. I think all the extra money is part of that. I think the very poor performance that Netflix's CEO gave on Capitol Hill was also part of it.
And his stock is tanking.
The stock is tanking. I think, again, part of that, I think, is because he did a really bad job answering questions there about what was going on with this merger, what was going on with the company, and their support for ensuring that movies stayed in theaters. Don't think those were particularly satisfying for a lot of people that saw them. And I think at this point, I think people are actually starting to wonder, both at Warner Brothers and at Netflix, whether they're going to be able to get through the regulatory hurdles to actually get this merger accepted, right? I think they're starting to get a little concerned that maybe this will get shut down by, the FTC or, whichever organization is going to be looking at this. So, I think now there's a number of reasons for Warner Brothers to start entertaining Paramount's deal a little bit more seriously. Yeah, I guess we'll see what comes of it. I haven't read any news stories about it in the next day or so.
No, there was something that I read in today that, that I thought I read a little more about it today, but I just, I don't know. I agree with everything you said, though. I know that there was something about Netflix agreeing to waive the right to the breakup fee for a week or something like that. I could be wrong.
I did see there was a letter. Did you see the thing about the letter from James Cameron?
No, show me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So James Cameron sent a letter earlier today, basically sent it to lawmakers saying that his feeling was that the what did he say? The acquisition of Warner Brothers by Netflix would be disastrous, is what he says. Here, I can share it with you real quick. Here's a story about it in Variety. So yeah, contends Netflix acquisition of Warner Brothers would be disastrous. Let's see. I believe strongly the proposed sale of Warner Brothers Discovery to Netflix would be disastrous for the theatrical motion picture business that I have dedicated my life's work to. Of course, my films all play in the downstream video markets as well, but my first love is cinema. Cameron predicted that if the number of big budget films such as he makes contracts, theaters will close, fewer films will be made, the job losses will spiral. The business model of Netflix is directly at odds with the theatrical film production and exhibition business, which employs hundreds of thousands of Americans. It is therefore directly at odds with the business model of the Warner Brothers movie division, one of the few remaining major movie studios. He's not the only one to have made this point. There's quite a few other people who said very similar things. It is interesting, though, that he has sent this, on to Capitol Hill to say, this is what you know, this is how I feel about it as, someone who has dedicated my life, someone who has, and a celebrated, awarded person in the industry. Whatever you think of him now, honestly, I think he's completely lost his touch. I don't have any interest in Avatar at all.
He got caught up in the wrong things. He's not,
Yeah.
again, we keep mentioning this is that sometimes, especially in creativity, you're at your peak until a certain age. And then when you hit a certain age, you're not making anything new. You're not reinventing the wheel. And a lot of times, these kind of people, especially these days, they try to revisit something that worked in the past. And usually it doesn't work the way it did initially.
Yeah. So Mike Lee, who's of that committee there, said in a statement, we have received outreach from actors, directors, and other interested parties about the proposed Netflix Warner Bros. Merger, and I share many of their concerns. I look forward to holding a follow-up hearing to further address these issues. So it sounds like they did have the the hearing. They were talking to the Netflix CEO Sarandos. They may be holding another one, potentially to invite people like James Cameron to come in and say their piece to Congress about this potential merger and speak openly about the possibilities of what this might mean for the industry at large. Because he's not wrong. What Cameron has said here is absolutely true. Not to say that big budget pictures, multi $100 million, $200 million pictures need to be the norm, right? But that, yes, I think what he has said about Netflix and Warner Brothers movie studios, that their business models being directly at odds, is exactly true. And I think that's what a lot of other people have tried to say, perhaps in more words than that, but essentially that there is no reason for Netflix to actually support a studio like Warner Brothers producing and releasing films in theaters. That is not their business model. Unless they were forced to do it through some sort of deal in order to, to get this merger to move forward, then yeah, I don't think they would have a long-term commitment to that as a brand, as a studio. So yeah, I agree that's very troubling, and I'm glad that whatever you feel about Cameron, again, I think he's an amazing creator. He's done some amazing things. Just in recent years, I just think he's hitched his wagon to this Avatar stuff, and I couldn't care less for it. But I know that there's plenty of people out there who do enjoy it. Regardless of what you think of him, I think he does have some very important things to say there. And perhaps we're going to get some more hearings out there, and we're going to get some more people to come and speak about their concerns regarding what that Netflix acquisition would actually mean for the movie industry at large.
Yeah. Well, I'm trying to think for a second if there was anything else of interest. Any gaming stuff? I feel like we didn't talk about. I saw that you had a new banner on your Twitter, but I didn't recognize the game.
I think it's the same one I think it's the same one I've had there for a really long time. It's from one of the opening scenes of Secret of Monkey Island.
I see.
Yeah. Old game.
Yeah, no, it looked like an old game, but I didn't remember it.
Yeah, Secret of Monkey Island. So it was one of the original Lucasfilm adventure games. I love those to death. I've considered even doing a stream if I have the time during the summer. I was going to try and do it last summer, but I ended up having way too many things going on. But I've considered doing some game streaming and streaming some of those old adventure games because I love them so much. They're so much fun.
So there's this. This is so strange to me that they made a horror movie that has You know, the guy that plays Jon Snow and Sophie Turner, who plays, whatever Sansa Stark. It's so weird that they made a show that I guess they're like a couple.
You
I don't know
mean
why they would think that's cool.
Lara
That's kind of weird for
Croft?
me. I mean, it's just kind of it's a strange thing to do, if you know what I'm saying.
Yes. Yeah.
Like if I had a movie, these are the last two people I would cast as a couple. It's just too many people recognize them as something else. It's not gonna seem logical.
Yeah. Well, plus, don't you love when your review has the word tedious in it? Really, you know exactly where that review is going.
No, and
Once
this is
that-
like a shill rag, publication, and they're saying it's tedious. It's probably awful because they really wanted to probably give it a good grade. There was something else. What was it? Yeah, I see the James Cameron thing. There was something else that I was looking at. Oh, so this movie, I had a chance to see it this week in an early screening, and I actually really wanted to, but I just didn't get a chance. I feel bad. I almost did. I almost did, but I'm just like, ugh, I'm tired, and it would have been too much for me. And on a rare occasion, I waived the early screening of this thing. I don't know if it's any good or not. I really can't even trust these kind of mainstream publications, so I don't really know. It didn't look too good from the commercial. I don't know if you know what I'm talking about.
No, I hadn't seen it.
It was called something else. I think initially the movie was called Huntington, and then they said, "Oh, How to Make a Killing."
Was there another movie called Huntington?
It's possible.
Yeah.
Can't really remember. Let me see for a second. Let's see. Is there anything? Streaming ratings. See if I can pull this up.
Oh, the Jennifer Hudson show has been renewed for season 5. I didn't know the Jennifer Hudson show existed for the first 4 seasons.
Well,
sure
I mean,
care about the 5th one.
Here's the thing. It's one of those things that's more for like ladies that sit at home. I don't know. It's a certain audience that I guess it's catering to. I will say this. I don't know if she talks about politics in recent times or anything like that. Generally speaking, I've never hated Jennifer Hudson. Again, not my cup of tea and all that stuff, but she can carry a tune. She's not the worst singer, even if she came out of those American Idol things. She's pretty talented when it comes to singing. With that being said, I've never watched her show, not even once. Not even 1 minute of it.
No, I didn't even know it existed.
And then you have this thing. Streaming ratings, Landman wraps second season with another big week. I bet you that, there's nothing with Starfleet Academy. I don't see anything here. Rizzoli and Isles, did I read that correctly? Can't be. 3 former TNT shows made up the top 10 acquired show lists via Netflix. Southland and Rizzoli and Isles? Somebody is watching that stupid show? Made their debuts in the ranking and joined The Closer? That's what they're doing now? They're like buying these old shows and putting them on?
And Veronica Mars. Wow.
But notice how there's nothing here to suggest that Starfleet Academy is making any waves here. There's really nothing. It's not of interest to anybody. There's no buzz. Nobody's watching it. It's a complete failure.
Yep. Oh, man.
Let's see for a second. I'm trying to see if there's anything else. It felt like a kind of quiet day.
Yeah. We could mention this real quick, even though it brings us back to talking about Star Trek again. But
no, do it. Come on.
Did you see this story from that Park Place?
I saw something like this. I did see something.
Yeah, Star Trek artist warns fans that review bombing Starfleet Academy could end the franchise. So going out and legitimately reviewing the show and saying it's terrible could end the franchise. Guess what? We're okay with that.
There's no such thing as review bombing. This is such
There
a
isn't.
stupid thing. If
Review
people
bombing
don't
is
like
BS.
it and they don't want to go see it, or they don't like it, or they whatever it is, or they think it's stupid, they're making fun of it. That's absolutely not review bombing. I reject the whole idea of a review bombing.
So this is the post on X. Negative review bombing of Academy. Again, like you said, review bombing does not exist. It's not a thing. Just because people don't like your show does not mean it was review bombed. Your show sucks. So people are out there telling you your show sucks. Negative review bombing of Academy likely to end the possibility of shows like Legacy if we put Trek into 10 or 15 years of hiatus. Honestly, with much of the negative rhetoric coming out before the airing of the first episode based on trailers and shills.
Shut up with this legacy. This legacy thing, Alex Kurtzman nipped it in the bud because people said a few compliments about Terry Matalas. And in addition to being a complete hack, in my opinion, he also has a big ego, so he's also an asshole, in my opinion.
And then this story, man, is based literally on somebody using Chat GPT. This whole thing. It says right here, one smart fan even asked an artificial intelligence bot if intentionally killing Starfleet Academy would somehow perversely encourage Paramount to finally decide to produce the series concept that fans have been clamoring for in vain for the past few years since the series finale of Star Trek Picard, known as Star Trek Legacy. By the way, Star Trek Legacy never existed. It was never going to exist. Terry Matalas isn't coming back to Star Trek. He has other projects. It was never going to happen. It was always just fan projection, right? It was never going to
like
exist.
the idea, but they were never going to let him make it.
No.
And I think Alex Kurtzman got annoyed that somebody there was being, given a few compliments. I bet you he didn't like it.
So here's this little blown up picture here. It says, bottom line, if fans actually succeed in tanking Starfleet Academy, the most likely outcome would be Legacy becomes less likely. Trek TV enters a cooling off period. Executives grow weary of the audience. The franchise loses momentum and budget. You know what? I'm okay with all of these things. Do it.
Yeah, do it.
Stop making Star Trek. Let it have a cooling off period. Let the executives walk away from Star Trek. I don't want them involved anymore. They have ruined it. They have destroyed it. What they have made is trash. And the franchise loses momentum. I don't want the franchise as it exists now to have any momentum. I want it to die. In fact, I would be happiest if it died tomorrow. If they came out and said, well, all of this Kurtzman stuff has been garbage. We're not even going to finish airing it. That would be the best possible scenario. But it's not going to happen. But I would love it. I would cheer for that.
I tend to agree.
It says, ironically, the best, you can't see it because it's kind of covered up here, but ironically, the best way to get Star Trek Legacy would be to demonstrate that Star Trek as a whole is still worth investing in, not to prove that even devoted fans will abandon it. Well, what you're making right now isn't Star Trek, so I don't feel bad about not cheering for it. It's garbage, is what it is.
I agree.
What they have been making for the past decade is just utter trash. I don't want anything to do with it anymore. This latest show, it is, as I've said before, this is Kurtzman's Star Trek's final form, right? This is all the stuff that he's wanted to do all along, transforming it and changing it and turning it into some ridiculous farce of a show with the Star Trek label stuck onto it. It's what Kurtzman has always wanted Star Trek to be. Some dumb knockoff version of CW shows and Buffy the Vampire Slayer and Hogwarts and whatever, Harry Potter. And then it's the Star Trek version of that with all of the woke LGBTQ identity politics crap just shoved in your face every single moment. This is everything he ever wanted out of Star Trek. And it is complete garbage. So, yes. We will continue to review this show honestly.
We'll do the best we
review
can.
bomb.
It's a terrible show.
Not review bomb, but review this show honestly. Put real, actual reviews.
Hey, if it
out
was a
there for
good
people.
show, I wouldn't mind saying it was a good show. Like even if it
No.
was just mediocre, I would say it.
Yeah. I mean, the last episode almost had a plot. It was almost an episode of Star Trek, except that it didn't have any of the stuff that actually makes Star Trek. But yeah.
Well, that's the thing. It doesn't feel like anything Star Trek related. It's just
Yeah.
some people talking about their feelings on a ship or any other place you put them in. It really feels. It feels like a parody of itself.
It really is.
Oh well.
Oh,
Was there anything
well.
else we still wanted to go over today?
Let's see. We didn't have anything else in on the list here. Just trying to think if there was anything else that I saw today that I wanted to mention, but not coming up with anything, Price.
Well, in that case, I guess we can start saying goodbye to some people.
Yeah, let me pull that up for you. Let me make sure, double check here that I got everybody. Oh, I didn't have Dude Bro Seth 420 in my list. Gotta add him.
Dude Bro Seth,
right.
cheers.
Yeah. All right. Here, that should be our list from Rumble.
From Rumble, double R Star, Pure Blood Based Berserker, Phantom Monk, Kivo 1961. We gave a $5 Rumble rant. Sounded like Scooby Doo. At Deeple, Deeple 101. Then we had, what else do we have? Darren Mai, B-roll stage, Dude Bro Seth 420. Cheers.
Yeah, and Elizabeth Quince.
Oh, and Elizabeth Quince.
Her name got cut off when
Friend of the channel, Elizabeth Quince.
Elizabeth Quince was also here, so yeah, I noticed that got cut off. And I think that's everybody from Rumble. So thank you all for joining us this evening. Let's see, over on the YouTubes. Let's see, we had Dominic Parker, E. Clay Thomason, Lord Quasi, Samsung, Christera, Spiegel, Zune RJ5, Tony Grigio, That Felix 1, Deviate 340, The Real Head Case, Istaphobos, and my window just jumped on me, and I gotta find my list again. Hold on. Let's see. Michelle and Lil Beastie, Jonathan Conroy, Bubba Doom, Badfoot, Georgius Rex, or is it Georgius I Rex now? The Dead Man, Tim Hayes, Lasher, Yitis, Matthew McGee, Mary White, Whalem 03, Tina Beebe, Darren M, Strugun, Daniel T USA, Kodo Robo 22, Adam Gray, Tomahawk 511, Ron Donafero, Caleb Levine, Mur Rockstro, Marla Sharondoff, Matthew Marcillo, and Jason Webster. And thank you for all of the super chats over on YouTube this evening.
Well, that sounds pretty good to me. And we suffered through that Star Trek episode.
Yep.
And we'll be back here next week at next week on Tuesday we're going to be here.
On Tuesday we'll be here.
You know, this show has exhausted me so much that I've kind of I spent late last night watching it, and then I watched it again, and then I actually was watching Deep Space Nine to prepare for today, and today I got up really early, so it's been exhausting. I wouldn't mind if at least it was good, but to spend so much time on this show, which is so bad. That kind of is sad to do, but I don't regret it. People are enjoying, us talking about it, enjoying some of
Yep.
the reviews I post on my other channel, and a lot of people don't want to watch it. They prefer to hear commentary like ours. So it's important to give that to people. But yeah, it's also exhausting at the same time.
Yep. Well, yeah, we'll be back here next Tuesday. Before then, tomorrow night, I will be, at least I should be, joining Adam Gray and the rest of the team over on B-Sides on B-Roll Stage. We are watching a very, very special blaxploitation film tomorrow.
Of course.
Petey Wheatstraw. If you haven't heard of this, it's kind of a classic when it comes to blaxploitation films, starring Dolomite himself, Rudy Ray Moore, in sort of a blaxploitation comedy, horror comedy, where he plays Petey Wheatstraw, the devil's son-in-law. So yeah, kind of a classic. That'll be a great deal of fun to watch.
Well, it certainly sounds interesting. So,
yeah, it is a sight to behold.
Well, I guess if there isn't any other thing that's pressing, maybe it's a good time to be on our way.
That'll do it for tonight. Thanks, everybody. Have a good evening.
Thanks,
Morning.
guys.
Bye.
Bye.